Welcome to the fantasy audiobook. Shenhao. A great start and the CO will give me a baby. Chapter 61. The martial arts master is perfect. That's right, Feng Juyu, who was feeling his own strength, was stunned. My dear friend, I'm so kind, Feng has written it down. Shen breathed a sigh of relief, feeling that his condition was better than ever before, and then said, Benefactor, that token has endless uses. You can even let your benefactor walk sideways in Jinling. While Feng Juyu was talking, Yi Zan saw that the order of martial arts was written on the front and the word, Jinling, was written on the back, but the material was very special. Yeah, thanks then. Yi Zan smiled slightly, then looked at Feng Juyu across from him suspiciously. Your Excellency is from the Jinling Martial Arts Association. Good. Feng Juyu coughed dryly and continued. To be honest with my benefactor, my name is Feng Juyu, and I am the president of the Jinling Martial Arts Association. Oh, hearing this, Yi Zan was stunned. He didn't expect that when he returned to Guishu village this time, he would accidentally save the president of the Jinling Martial Arts Association. It turns out it's President Feng, disrespectful. Yi Zan smiled slightly, but Feng Juyu didn't dare to make excuses, and said respectfully, my benefactor is full of praise. I believe that my benefactor's strong aura and strength are definitely not inferior to mine. Could it be a half-step martial arts master? Yeah, Yi Zan was stunned, but he had to say that this old boy was quite perceptive. If I say no, President Feng can be trusted. Haha, my benefactor, please don't make fun of me. After chatting for a few words, Yi Zan said goodbye and left. Benefactor, walk slowly. Feng Juyu bowed slightly, his intuition telling him that the young man in front of him was very special. If he could make friends with him, he might have unexpected gains in the future. The master of martial arts has reached perfection. This is like a dream. Feng Juyu smiled bitterly. You must know that originally he was only in the middle stage of martial arts master, and he was still far away from the late stage, let alone reaching perfection. He flashed away and disappeared from the scene. However, Feng Juyu soon received a message. Yi Zan, 23 years old, lives in Villa No. 1 of Diwan, drives a $100 million Lamborghini, the Devil's Son, and is the fiancé of Xia Bining, the daughter of the Xia Group. What? After seeing the message, Feng Juyu looked behind him in the direction of Guishu village in disbelief. The benefactor is actually Yi Zan from Jinling. As the president of the Jinling Martial Arts Association, Feng Juyu naturally paid attention to Yi Zan, and he also had a lot of information. After all, in addition to being the president of the Jinling Martial Arts Association, he also had the identity of the Inspector General of the Imperial Capital Martial Arts Association. It seems that the things that happened to the Zhang family, the Shen family, the Wang family, and even the Qin family and the Song family during this period in Jinling were all caused by their benefactors. Think of this. Feng Juyu couldn't help but take a breath and murmured, if this is true, then what on earth is the benefactor going to do? However, it would not necessarily be a bad thing if the benefactor could unify the many forces in Oris Hill. Half a day later, in front of the exquisite bamboo house. Huchi, the thunder and lightning gunship rotated, and the two little guys waved their little hands. Grandpa, Grandma, goodbye. As the helicopter left, the old couple came back to their senses. The black dragon barked beside them, as if they were also sending off the boss and the two young masters. By the way, I seem to have seen this helicopter somewhere. Father Yi frowned, looked at the departing helicopter, and then started searching, and soon he was stunned. This. Looking at the introduction on the phone, Father Yi almost threw the phone away. In fact, the impact of the information on it was too great. What's wrong? Yi's mother looked at Yi's father suspiciously. What did this old guy do to startle him? The brat had never seen him like this before when he acquired the wrong group. Ahem, you might not believe it. Swallowing his saliva, Father Yi looked at the direction of the helicopter's departure in shock. The helicopter Xiaoshuan bought as a thunder and lightning armed helicopter, worth 300 million. PFF'd. Yi Mu, who had just taken a drink of water, squirted it out. She was in a panic. What did you say? That helicopter is worth 300 million. Suddenly looked at the helicopter with only Ding Dian, Yi Mu's fingers made a sound. The stinky boy was too defective. What to do if he wanted to beat him a meal? Happy. Looking at the white clouds retreating outside the helicopter, Kongnuo looked at the two little guys. Aha, so happy. The Shinshintongtong chicks pecked at the rice and nodded their heads. They were very happy to come to Grandma's house this time, especially the little Hei who was so fun. That's right, Daddy. The two little guys looked at each other and curiously asked Dad, when will Xiaohei give birth to a puppy? Yes, it would be more fun if there were a lot of little blackies. Yeah, after Yizan heard this, the shadow of the black dragon appeared in his mind, and then said, I will ask you questions when I see the black dragon next time. If the conversation between the three masters was heard by the black dragon, I wonder if he would be furious. Master Dog treats you as his little master, but you actually let Master Dog give birth to cubs for you to play with. Really, Daddy, you must ask, I really like Xiaohei so much. If the black dragon heard what the little master said, he would definitely suspect Go Sheng. Jinling, Villa number 1 Diwan. The young master is back. As night fell, the helicopter landed steadily on the lawn. Under the strong wind, the maids' clothes swayed in the wind, which was a beautiful sight. Mom, Shinshintongtong hadn't seen her for 2 days, and she was still feeling numb, so she threw herself into Sha Binning's arms. You are back, holding two little guys in my arms. I wonder if I made fun of someone yesterday. My face is slightly flushed, and naturally I feel guilty. Hee hee, Daddy, give Mom a hug. Letting go of Mommy, the two little guys were chirping, but they heard the maids look over and said, Young miss, this is too sensible. Go, what are you talking about? Ah. Before Sha Binning could finish her words, she felt herself being picked up by some princess, and she entered the villa while the maids were stunned and envious. Wow, it's so sweet. The dog food of the young master and the young lady is too sweet. How can the young master be so doting? Ying ying ying. I really like the young master, what should I do? If the young lady knows, I wonder if I will be stripped naked, hung up and beaten. Quote. The maids were chatting and talking, but Su Muyu rolled her eyes. These ladies were becoming less and less old. Yizan, you. How could you do this and not let me down? Sha Binning's face turned red to the point behind her ears. It was so bad that so many people were looking at him. He dared the princess to hug him. What should he do if his heart was beating so fast? But why does it feel so exciting? Sha Binning, are you crazy? After dinner, in the room, pattering, listening to the sound of water in the bathroom, Yizan smiled slightly and dialed Mu Hanzu's phone number. Hey, Mr. Yi, Mu Hanzu's respectful voice sounded. Her boss didn't dare to slack off at all. After all, she was where she was today because of young Master Yi. But soon, when she learned about her boss's intentions, Mu Hanzu became uneasy. Master Yi, you want to build Kunpeng Financial City on land No. 1. In fact, this bold idea shocked Mu Hanzu. You must know that even the 4 major families in Jinling would not dare to build a financial city. You must know that building a financial city requires a huge investment. Good. Naturally, he would not miss such a good opportunity to make money, and continued, I will transfer you a startup capital later. After a few words of advice, he hung up the phone. Ding. The host consumes 20 billion RMB and gains wealth of 200 billion RMB. After the transfer was completed, the system sound rang in my ears, and I couldn't help but feel better. Then, bring up the properties panel. Name, Yizan. Realm, Peak of Martial Spirit. Age, 23 years old. Appearance, MAX, second only to tomato readers. Abilities, God-level driving skills, God-level cooking skills, God-level massage, God-level treasure appraisal, immersive sound, God-level beast control, permanent experience of Kato fingers, omnipotent music, and master of medical skills. Items. D1 number 1 Villa X1, 30 million extended version Bugatti Veyron Thunder gunship. Wealth, 685.6 billion RMB. Looking at the attribute panel, Yizan's eyes flashed, and he was not far away from trillion before he realized it. After all, for him, money will only cost more and more, and he will never be able to spend it all. Wow, but at this moment, the bathroom door opened. Sha Binning, who was wrapped in a bath towel, had a red face and did not dare to look at someone. She completely lost the confidence to make a video yesterday. Such a beautiful face made Yizan's eyes blazing. What are you looking at? Sha Bining glared at someone, completely unaware of how tempting she was. Of course I'm looking at my wife Bing Ning. He grabbed Yi Yingying's slender waist and joked with a wicked smile. Nizi, you were very arrogant while video chatting yesterday. Did you know that your man is going to revive his husband tonight? With her beautiful chin raised, her face was even more charming under the warm yellow light. Sigh, what nonsense are you talking about, Fu Gang, you big-headed devil, ah. Jinling, Mu Hanzu Villa. After taking a shower, Mu Hanzu is still wearing pajamas, but it is still difficult to hide her proud figure. If outsiders see it, many people will be envious to death. Of course, tomato readers will not accept any objection. Ding dong. While drying her hair, Mu Hanzu received a message on her phone and looked at it. Dear CCB users, your account number ending in 3478, 20 billion RMB was received on April 20, 2024, please pay attention to check it. Construction Bank. This is. Seeing the transfer record, Mu Hanzu was stunned. No way, could it be possible that Mr. Yi transferred 20 billion startup capital to himself? Hiss. Thinking of this, Mu Hanzu took a breath and was stunned for a while before coming back to her senses. 20 billion. Oh my god, I was sure I wasn't dreaming, so I subconsciously rubbed my white and tender skin. Hiss. Under the pain, this made Mu Hanzu's eyes tremble. Boss, you are a bit too arrogant. The figure of my own Mr. Yi comes to mind. It would be great if my future partner is as good as Mr. Yi. Unfortunately, Mr. Yi already has a partner. The next day, early morning. The golden morning sun poured down on a handsome face. When he opened his sleepy eyes, he saw a stunningly beautiful face. The handsome boy was Yi Zan. This girl is so incredibly beautiful. His fingers held his slightly messy hair behind his ears, and the surrounding light was dim. To be able to get such a beautiful woman and have twin daughters, I am definitely the happiest person in the world. For a moment, Yi Zan was quite emotional, but this state did not last for a while. Jingle bell bell. At a certain moment, Sha Bining had just woken up when her cell phone rang. At this moment, Sha Bining was also woken up and saw that the caller ID was Xiao Qian. What should I do? Sha Bining's face became uncomfortable, and then she glared at a certain guy. It's all your fault. Isn't this simple? Yi Zan put Sha Bining's phone on speakerphone. Hey, Mr. Sha. The sweet voice of Special Assistant Xiao Qian came from the opposite side, and Yi Zan's eyes widened. Xiao Qian, you, Mr. Sha, were too tired from exercising last night and have a day off today. Just watch and handle all the company's big and small matters. Ha! When Xiao Qian heard this, her face turned red. She looked at the time in front of her and it was not yet 7 o'clock in the morning. Oh my god, are you too tired from exercise? Could it be possible, Mr. Sha and Mr. Yi Zan stayed up all night last night? Ahem, no way, it's so serious that Mr. Sha can't even go to work. You're crazy. Sha Bining's face was extremely red. Was she too tired from exercising? Does he know what he is talking about? If you say that, Xiao Chen will misunderstand. How can I go to the company if you ask me to? In fact, the beautiful lady was a little crazy. She really wanted to strangle him to death. How could that guy do this? Isn't it? Holding the beauty in his arms, Yi Zan said nonchalantly. Besides, it's not like Xiao Qian doesn't know about our relationship, so there's nothing to misunderstand. Sha Bining. You. Snort. She glared at someone fiercely, and for a moment she was speechless. Bululu. Sha Bining was still about to say something, but her lower abdomen screamed in protest, but Sha Bining's beautiful face turned bitter. Look at you, how can I go to eat like this? Thinking of exposing her secrets while walking, Sha Bining was itching her teeth with hatred, and she thought it would take a while to recover. Come, my husband will carry you. While talking, Yi Zan hugged Sha Bining and left the room. After she realized what she was doing, she had already arrived in the living room on the second floor. Ah, you. Yi Zan, if you let me down, how can you carry me to dinner? If not, the beautiful lady in her arms rolled her eyes and looked nervous. Come down and go. Sha Bining wanted to say something, but in the end she snorted and left. Joke, not to mention that she left. I'm afraid it would be too hard to hold things. Wow. When the maids saw the young master carrying the young lady out, their eyes were full of envy for the little star. My God, young master, he actually came out with the young madam in his arms. You are so doting. Huh, even if you dote on the young lady. Spreading dog food to them this early in the morning is so sweet. Feeling the gazes of the maids, Sha Binning's face turned even redder. Thinking about all the things last night, she wanted to find a crack in the ground to crawl into. However, they cannot be discovered yet. Master, madam, what is this? Su Muyu obviously noticed something was wrong with her young lady and asked with concern. Oh, it's all right. Yi Zan smiled slightly and placed his beautiful wife beside the dining table. It's just that, my feet were sprained when I woke up in the morning. I was worried that the injury was serious, so I held her to eat. Sha Binning. Ah, what a sprained leg. This guy really speaks without blushing. It's obviously because of what this guy did last night, huh? Oh, that's how it is. When the maids heard this, they understood a little bit, but they started to like the young master even more. The young master was very caring. Amu, looking at the sumptuous breakfast on the table, Sha Binning, who couldn't wait for a long time, had already eaten a piece of grilled sausage, but she still felt a little nauseous for some reason. It seemed that looking at the grilled sausage in front of him reminded him of certain scenes, but he didn't think much about it because he was hungry. Daddy, Mommy, did you eat so much? Tong saw that she had eaten a lot of moma, and she felt that she had eaten a lot more than before. Of course, Changrong pinched the cheeks of the two little guys, and Yi Zan said, you were tired all day yesterday, so it's normal for you to take more supplements. PFF'd, cough cough. Sha Binning was really choked when she heard someone's words. That fool L had the nerve to say it after a long day. Madam, are you okay? Su Muyu hurriedly asked with concern, and at the same time she had already filled a bowl of soup. Here, drink some chicken soup. Thanks. After thanking him, he didn't forget to glare at someone secretly, as if to warn him not to talk nonsense again. The maids who were paying attention to their wives from a distance were discussing heatedly. I found beauty. Madam, you are so strange today. Your skin looks much nicer. Could it be that the young husband and the young lady hugged each other for some reason last night, right? Go away, what are you talking about? The young master is not a pity person. That's right, don't you say that the young lady has a sprained foot. The maids were chattering, and if Sha Binning heard it, she would hang them all up and beat them up, and tell them that your young master is someone who doesn't care about women. Hee, Daddy, where are we going? After breakfast, she rested for a long time. It wasn't until 3 o'clock in the morning that Sha Bingning regained some of her strength, and she was complaining about a certain guy being a dog. Hateful, I actually rested for such a long time before regaining my strength. Well, I heard that the Jinling Lantern Festival starts today. How about we go to the Lantern Festival? Thinking about the video I saw on the internet yesterday, it seems that I haven't spent all my time with the two little guys for several days. Really, very good. When Tong heard that she was going to the Lantern Festival, her eyes were full of excitement. You know, Mommy and Daddy were accompanying them today, which made her happy just thinking about it. Hee, Daddy, let's go quickly. The two little guys rushed to the Jinling Lantern Festival in a stretched supercar. In half an hour, the lights will come. Wow, when they arrived at the Lantern Festival, the two little guys looked at the endless colorful lanterns in the distance with bright eyes. Look, Daddy, they are so beautiful. At the same time as they spoke, the two little guys took steps and ran out. Shinkson, Tong, please slow down. Sha Bingning saw the two little ancestors having fun and chased after them worriedly. Look at you, hurry up. There are so many people, don't get lost. When she saw someone she didn't like, the beautiful woman rolled her eyes at him. Haha, okay. Yi Zan smiled slightly, and the family of 4 was walking around the Lantern Festival. The two little guys looked left and right, looking very happy. Daddy, come on. Look, that Pikachu is so cute. Not long after, Tong came to the stall where the ring was set up and stopped. Her look of love said it all. I like it. Daddy will help you with it. Soon, Yi Zan held 10 circles in his hand, and many tourists around him looked over. Wow, what a handsome little brother. Not surprisingly, Yi Zan, who has the best looks, immediately captured a wave of cute little beauties, but Sha Binning rolled her eyes. That guy knows how to flirt with women. Whoosh. The 2 rings came out, and the next moment, they accurately landed on the 2 little Pikachus. Damn it, that guy actually got hit. And only 2 at a time. The people around him were stunned, and their eyes changed slightly when they looked at Yizan. If one of them happened, it might be a coincidence, but the chance of hitting 2 at the same time was probably about the same as winning the lottery. Yes, Daddy is great. When the 2 little guys saw Daddy trap 2 at the same time, they clapped their hands excitedly, knowing that Daddy was the most powerful. At this time, the boss gave the 2 little Pikachus to the little guys. Yizan then glanced at the big Pikachu further away and tried to set up another one for Bing Ning's wife. Thinking of this, the boss soon twitched his mouth and handed the big Pikachu to Yizan. He was really panicking. He met a master now. Hey, my wife, I'll give this to you. Sha Bining listened to a certain guy's words, but she noticed the envious eyes, and her face turned red. Ah. You, and mine. At this moment, Sha Bining felt that the guy seemed to pamper her as his daughter, but this feeling was quite good. Husband, I also want a large Pikachu. Seeing the Pikachu in Sha Bining's hand, the girls beside the ring urged their boyfriends one by one, but they were so demanding that the boyfriends coughed dryly. The thing is, it's not that they don't want to cheat, it's that their strength doesn't allow it. Let's go quickly. Hearing the sound of envy in her ears, Sha Bining's face turned even redder. She was really afraid that if she stayed here, this guy would do something to pamper her like his daughter. Hee, Mom is so shy. Shinksan Tongtong was on the side doing some finishing touches, but Sha Bining glared at the 2 little ancestors. After walking for a while, I saw the singing anchor who was surrounded by many people in the corner of the Lantern Festival. She was a beautiful girl in black stockings. Daddy, look, someone is live broadcasting. Young lady is so beautiful. The 2 little guys came closer and saw the little beautiful anchor singing a beautiful song. Wife Bing Ning, how about your husband giving you a song? Sha Bingning's heart tightened. What was that guy going to do? Detect the host to sing for Bing Ning's wife and grant her god-level magic abilities. Yizan was startled when he heard the sound of the system, and all kinds of magic tricks that were beyond ordinary people's understanding came into his mind. Tongzi was afraid that he would not be in the limelight enough. Yizan, you, Daddy, come on. Before the beautiful lady finished speaking, she was interrupted by 2 little guys on the side. Little beauty, can I use your live broadcast room to sing a song? The magnetic voice sounded, and the little beauty in black stockings looked over and saw a familiar figure. Ah, it's you, cousin Shueqi. After seeing Yizan, Lu Xiaoyun's face turned red. You know me. Yizan, who wanted to sing to his wife, was stunned. Lu Xiaoyun pecked at the rice and nodded her head. Yeah. Cousin, I am Shueqi's best friend, and I am your fan. After the conversation, Lu Xiaoyun's eyes lit up. Singing to your beautiful sister-in-law, of course it would be nice. Then, play the accompaniment of The Love Must Have a Last Resort for me. Hee, okay cousin. Lu Xiaoyun played the accompaniment in anticipation, and the fans in the live broadcast room were stunned by the sudden scene. Let me knock on you, this is Xiaoyun's wife's boyfriend. So handsome, I really want to have a baby with a handsome guy. But at this moment, Yizan's eyes fell on the beautiful lady. This next song is for my wife, Ms. Sha Bining. Wow, when everyone around heard this, all their eyes fell on Sha Bining, which made Sha Bining's face turn red. That guy had indeed caused trouble. Snapped. But at this moment, Yizan snapped his fingers, and then a dense rain of rose petals suddenly fell from the sky. Wow, ah, Xin Shintong smelled the fragrance of the roses and looked up. Mama, look. A rain of petals, a rain of rose petals. After listening to the words of the 2 little guys, Sha Bining looked up and saw a rain curtain of rose petals between the sky and the earth. Could it be that guy had planned it earlier? Gouda, everyone around him was excited. For a moment, they all looked at Yizan with fondness. Oh my god, this handsome brother is so good at pampering people. Oh my god, Lu Xiaoyun was stunned. She put her hands together on top of the bear, her face full of confusion. Cousin, it's so romantic. The live broadcast room was even more hotly debated, and the number of fans soared. It's hard to forget the first time I met you. A pair of charming eyes. Your image in my mind cannot be dissipated. Hold your hands and feel your tenderness. It's really a bit breathless. Quote. Under the immersive sound, the perfect voice can be said to have elevated the artistic conception of this song to a new level. In an instant, everyone seemed to be in a romantic fairy tale world with a rain of rose petals. His handsome appearance was bathed in the rain of rose petals, especially the curved corners of his mouth, which fascinated countless people. Wow, the two little guys looked at their daddy, and it turned out that daddy was more powerful than they thought. That rascal. Sha Bining looked at someone and was inexplicably moved. The scene when they first met appeared in her mind, especially every beautiful night. Her face couldn't help but blush, and she didn't know what she was thinking of. The surrounding audience were extremely envious. That beautiful girl must be so happy, she is so good at pampering people, and she is also super handsome. It's a pity, all good men belong to other people's families, woo woo woo. With everyone watching, Yi Zhan continued to sing. I'm just afraid I'll fall in love with you. Don't dare to let yourself get too close. I'm afraid I have nothing to give you. It takes a lot of courage to love you. I'm just afraid I'll fall in love with you. Maybe one day I can't help myself. PFF. Listening to someone singing, Sha Bing glared at him with tears in her eyes. That guy was so bad. Is it really okay to pamper him so much? Wow, Lu Xiaoyun was so excited. Her eyes were full of envy. Oh my god, cousin Xueqi is so awesome, it would be great if this was her boyfriend. Detect the host's beautiful confession and reward 500 million diamond rings, angel wings. At the end of the song, Yi Zhan narrowed his eyes. Tongzi was going crazy. But, well, let's just think of it as making up for non-easy's past years. Today's experience should be a good memory. Thinking of this, Yi Zhan walked toward Sha Bining. The rose petals were raining down. Looking at the beautiful lady in front of him, he turned over the magic with his right hand to show his power, and a beautifully packaged brocade box suddenly appeared. Then, the brocade box was opened. This is a diamond ring. No, that diamond ring isn't an angel wing worth 500 million, is it? This style is no different from the top luxury goods reported on the internet. The surrounding audience exploded instantly, and everyone in the live broadcast room was shocked. They were too arrogant and gave away 500 million diamond rings. Wife, this is for you. He took the slender hand of the stunningly beautiful lady and put the diamond ring, angel wings, on her. You just know how to show off. Sha Bining's face turned red. She was so moved that she hugged a certain guy tightly. Kiss me, kiss me. People around were applauding and talking, and the videos recorded on their mobile phones were shouting excitedly, as if the people in the scene were not Yi Zhan, but themselves. Look at you. Well. Before Sha Bining finished speaking, under everyone's attention, her red lips were blocked, and the French kiss came online again. Gouda. Everyone around them swallowed their saliva. This dog food was so sweet. Although they didn't want to look at it, their eyes couldn't control their movements at all. I was so envious. Why is such a arrogant, handsome and doting man not my own? A little, part the lips. Sha Bining looked at a certain guy, her face turned red and spread to her neck. That guy was taken advantage of by him again, and in front of so many people. Hateful, how could he be like this? What should I do if I really want to bite him to death? When everyone came back to their senses, they saw a family of 4 leaving in the shower of rose petals, and they were filled with emotions for a moment. That girl is so happy, but why is such a good boy not theirs? Gululu. After playing at the Lantern Festival for a while, my tummy couldn't stop crying in protest. Daddy, I'm hungry. Well, so is Tongtong. This was their first time coming to a place like the Lantern Festival, so it was strange that they were not hungry after running for so long. Okay, then, let's go eat first. Soon, a family of 4 came to the restaurant, but Sha Bining had already put away the diamond ring, angel wings. After all, such a big diamond is too eye-catching. Shortly after ordering, Yi Zhan clearly noticed that many people were approaching, and his murderous intention was not concealed at all. Could it be that the person seeking death is here again? Bing Ning, I'm going to the bathroom. Changrong rubbed the heads of the 2 little guys and said with a smile. Sha Bining naturally didn't care, but the 2 little guys blinked their big eyes. Well, Daddy, you have to come back soon. The The Lantern Festival is not far away, and the alley is inaccessible. Master, there is a Lantern Festival ahead. A top expert next to him looked into the distance. Boy Yizan and his family are all here. Very good. Song Qingyang narrowed his eyes. You must be low-key and careful this time. Before coming here, Song Qingyang did a lot of work and made sure that only his family of 4 came out before he chose to take the risk. The hatred of killing his son was irreconcilable. Even so, 1 martial arts master, 3 half-step martial arts masters, and more than 20 top masters were dispatched this time, and most of them were the strength that my father had accumulated over the years. There are so many masters, I don't believe that kid is still alive. With a cold smile, Song Qingyang had devoted a lot of effort to his son since he was a child. How could he not be angry now that his son was killed? Not good. But at this moment, the martial arts master of the Song family looked solemn. In the next moment, more than 10 figures appeared in various places in the deep alley with a swipe sound, cutting off all escape routes. The Song family is really haunted. Yizan wanted to keep a low profile, but there were always people looking for death. Instead of looking for the Song family, they came to him on their own. Yizan, it's you. Seeing the people clearly, Song Qingyang's face was full of disbelief, because he found that the more than 10 people who suddenly appeared were very strong. You must know that he was a top expert, but each of these people made him feel palpitated. Why, are you surprised to see me? Looking at Song Qingyang, Yizan smiled and said, if you want revenge, come and take revenge. I killed both your son and Song Qingtian. Boom. As soon as these words came out, Song Qingyang was shocked, and then his face became ferocious. It is indeed you. Kill him. With a scoff, the martial arts master's attack had arrived. When Song Qingyang saw this, he sneered in his eyes, that kid is dead. Snapped. Before the martial arts master could get closer, a figure slapped him forward, and the martial arts master that Song Qingyang was proud of turned into a corpse. What? Behind Song Qingyang, the expressions of all the masters changed drastically. How could it be possible to kill the martial arts master instantly? You are not worthy of letting the master take action. Shen Si looked at the martial arts master he killed instantly. Kill, no one will be spared. Yes, the 4 gods. In an instant, more than 10 divine guards killed everyone present, including Song Qingyang. Looking at the field, Yizan flicked his finger and the bones fell apart. Soon, more than 20 piles of fly ash appeared in the field, and the breeze blew and dissipated between heaven and earth. Owner. Shen Si looked at the dissipated fly ashes and looked in the direction of the Song family in Jinling. How should the Song family deal with it? Destroy it. Smelling the faint smell of blood, Yizan waved his hands. Since he wanted to seek death, if he didn't help them, wouldn't he be sorry for his enthusiasm? Yes, master. The 4th god bowed respectfully, and then disappeared into the deep alley with more than a dozen divine guards, as if they had never appeared before. After a while, we returned to the restaurant. Daddy is back. Xin Shintongtong was happy when she saw Daddy coming back. Come, let's eat. Chandrong rubbed the heads of the 2 little guys and didn't forget to give them a bite of their favorite braised pork. Thinking about the scene just now, he couldn't help but feel a little scared. After all, he couldn't be with this girl all the time. The detection host is worried about the safety of Bing Ning's wife, so he gave Guanyin Tears the upgrade and banning skills. Listening to the sound of the system in his ears, Yizan was stunned and looked at Guanyin Tears in surprise. Because, he realized that Guanyin's tears were enough to block martial arts attacks. As for the sealing technique, you can actually let this girl's ice physique be activated in advance. But it was the Song family manor in Jinling. How come? Mr. Song's face was full of disbelief. Qingyang actually lost contact. A bad feeling arises. This situation is exactly the same as last time. It's not a good place to stay for a long time. Thinking of this, Mr. Song is about to leave the Song family manor. Old man, it's too late to leave now. There was a swish sound, and at some point a person appeared next to Mr. Song. This person was none other than Shen San. Who are you? Seeing Shen San, Mr. Song's heart tightened, and then 3 half-step martial arts masters and no less than 50 top masters suddenly appeared in the field. Obviously, this is all the trump cards of Mr. Song. After today, there will be no more Song family in Jinling. When Shen San's voice fell, his figure disappeared from the spot. The next moment, Mr. Song's throat was sealed with a knife. Before he died, Mr. Song's face was full of disbelief. You are the martial arts master Yuan Tian. Shock. Mr. Song couldn't believe that there was someone in Jinling who was stronger than him. Although the martial arts master Yuan Wan was only one level higher than him, his strength was vastly different. What? As soon as these words came out, the expressions of many masters around him changed drastically. They instantly killed Mr. Song and became a martial arts master. Escape. Without hesitation, the 3 half-step martial arts masters turned around and left. The rest of the top masters did the same. Are you kidding me? Martial arts masters were all instantly killed in the later stages. With their little strength, their deaths would be even worse. Kill. Shen San glanced at the Song family, and a massacre was quietly staged in the Song family manner. This scene was very similar to the Jinling Zhao family before. A few minutes later, no one survived in the Song family manner. The smell of blood is filling the sky, and another riot will be staged in Jinling. As for the Song family, they will be expelled from Jinling. Night falls. Diwan Villa, in the room. Yi Zan, what did you say? When Xia Bining heard Yi Zan's words, her pretty face was full of disbelief, as the coldness in my body because of my special constitution. Good. Yi Zan was thinking about the forbidden technique, but he didn't expect that Tongzi could even come up with such a forbidden technique. With the addition of acupuncture, you can activate your constitution to a certain extent. Real. Hearing what her man said, Xia Bining, who was wrapped in a bath towel, was happy because she could do more things like this. But, what should I do? Xia Bining knew that her best friend was a top-notch expert and had a decisive voice even in the Li family, and she had also done a lot of things for the Li family. Now that she has the opportunity to be like her best friend, I wonder how she can not be excited. Take off your coat and lie down. Hearing what a certain guy said, Xia Bining's face turned red. She was just wrapped in a bath towel. If she took it off, wouldn't it be? You better not lie to me. After glaring at a certain guy, Xia Bining gritted her teeth and took off her coat and lay down. With such a perfect figure in front of her eyes, it really made Yi Zan's blood surge. It's not his fault. What can he do about such a beautiful woman? Let's start. Xia Bining closed her beautiful eyes, and her rosy face looked even more charming under the warm yellow light, especially her beautiful figure that made people dream. Good. Then, Yi Zan took out dozens of golden needles and inserted them into Xia Bining's acupuncture points with mysterious acupuncture techniques. Especially the dantian was surrounded by more than 20 golden needles. The art of confinement allowed Yi Zan to use 2 portions of the physique enhancement liquid to fully activate the ice physique of his beautiful wife, but it was partially sealed by the art of confinement. Buzz. Following the success of the sealing technique, a cold air spread with Xia Bining as the center. The entire bedding was frozen into a layer of ice, and the temperature of the room dropped sharply. Good guy. I'm afraid this girl's physique is even more extraordinary than imagined. At a certain moment, as the ice energy became thicker and thicker, Xia Bining's whole body was finally filled with gang energy. That's right. It's gang qi, a standard equipment only for martial arts masters. Immediately afterwards, Han Bing restrained herself, and Xia Bining's temperament and skin even became much better than before. This is a martial arts master. Because of her best friend, Xia Bining obviously knows a lot. The Gangqi body protection is clearly the sign of a martial arts master. Husband, I am a martial arts master. Actually, Xia Bining was a little confused. Her best friend had worked hard since she was a child to become a first-class master. She didn't do anything, but she was clicked a few times by that guy and became a martial arts master. This guy is a bit too powerful. You, still looking. Xia Bining was about to say something, but she noticed the fiery gaze of a certain guy and her face turned red. Hateful. That guy actually stared at me like that. If there was a crack in the ground, I really wanted to crawl into it. Hey, wife Bing Ning, who made you so beautiful and finally made your husband happy? HMPH. Xia Bining glared at a certain guy and curled her lips. Don't think that you can do anything to me just by activating my physique. Before she finished speaking, Xia Bining stared at a certain guy taking advantage with her beautiful eyes wide open. She wanted to use her strength to break away, but found that it was completely useless. How come? I am a martial arts master now, but I have no ability to resist in his hands. The next day, early morning. Yi Zan woke up and looked at the beautiful sleeping beauty. Thinking about everything last night, he couldn't help but sigh, this girl is incredible. It's different when you become a martial arts master. Your combat effectiveness in all aspects is several times stronger than before. Gee, if I had known about this benefit, I would have activated it long ago. Thinking about it this way, I suffered a big loss before. In view of the fact that the host has activated my wife's mysterious physique, her level has been elevated to that of the king of martial arts. Yi Zan, who was sighing with emotion, was stunned when he heard the sound of the system. There is such a benefit. Then, bring up the properties panel. Name, Yi Zan. Realm, early stage of King Wu. Age, 23 years old. Appearance, MAX, second only to tomato readers. Abilities, God-level driving skills, God-level cooking skills, God-level massage, God-level treasure appraisal, immersive sound, God-level beast control, permanent experience of Kato fingers, omnipotent music, and master of medical skills. Items. D1 number. 1 Villa X1, 30 million extended version Bugatti Veyron Thunder gunship. Wealth. 690.6 billion RMB. The energy surged in his body, and he obviously felt that his strength had become several times stronger. You're awake. At this moment, a pleasant voice came to my ears. It was a beautiful lady. She was even more charming after a night of discussion. My wife is really becoming more and more charming. Looking at the beautiful girl bathing in the golden sun in front of him, Yi Zan felt that he must be the happiest person in the world. Sigh, what nonsense are you talking about? Sha Bining glared at a certain guy, but she was enjoying it in her heart. In addition, the good thing is that after she became a martial arts master, even though the battle last night was much more intense than before, she didn't feel too sleepy. Humph, that guy couldn't have helped him awaken his physique because he wasn't satisfied. Thinking of this, the beautiful lady's face turned as red as a cloud, and she knew that the big soul had no good intentions. Correct, she was thinking about the martial arts master, but she couldn't resist at all in the hands of that guy. Her face turned red and she said suspiciously, "What kind of strength do you have now?" "I think you are very powerful." Of course, listening to his man's words, he brushed his big hand over the bear. "Your husband, I am a great master of martial arts. All the people in Jinling combined, your men can be knocked down with one finger." PFF. A certain guy's words made Sha Bining roll her eyes. Just brag. I heard my father say that the great master of martial arts is a guest of all the 4 major families in the imperial capital. How can you, a 23-year-old martial arts master? Obviously, Sha Bining didn't believe what someone said. Yi Zan shrugged, as if you don't believe it and there's nothing I can do about it. No wonder. Although I didn't believe what the guy said, I also understood why my father suddenly agreed to their matter. After all, with this guy's skills, the entire Sha family combined couldn't beat him. However, at the same time, a disaster happened to the Li family in Jinling. Jinling, Li family manor. PFF. The old man of the Li family vomited blood and died. Li Kongrong's pupils shrank suddenly. Li Ronggan, UL actually colluded with an outsider to kill your father. Haha, my good big brother. Li Ronggan smiled coldly and looked at the dead old man on the ground. Bullshit, who asked this old guy to pass the title of head of the family to you? He is looking for death. After a pause, Li Ronggan continued. But this old man's death can be regarded as a well-deserved death if he can connect with the Chen family in the capital of God. Of course, there is also my beautiful niece. Thump. At this moment, a figure was thrown into the field. This person was Sha Bining's best friend Li Shiqing. Poetry. Bang. Before Li Kongrong could get close, he was kicked out by Li Ronggan, the half-step martial arts master. Brother, poetry is my gift to the Chen family. Li Ronggan, you beast. Li Shiqing's face turned red with anger. She never expected that Li Ronggan and his son would collude with the Chen family in the imperial capital to overthrow the Li family. HMPH. Li Lingfeng smiled coldly and glared at Li Shiqing. If you weren't my cousin, you think I would give you to the Chen family? I have long ago punished you on the spot. Li Lingfeng's eyes were so hot that he almost fainted with anger. The father and son of the second wife were worse than animals. Ling Feng, Go, send your poems to the Chen family. With the Chen family in the imperial capital to take care of you, my Li family will definitely become the first family in Jinling. Good. The corners of Li Lingfeng's mouth curled up, and then he and the masters from the Chen family of the imperial capital drove towards Qingyu Villa. Li Ronggan, I will kill you. His daughter was taken away, and Li Kongrong looked ferocious. However, he was seriously injured and was no match for Li Ronggan. He was severely injured and fell into coma. But it was in the darkness of the Li family manor. What to do? Li Shiqing's maid looked anxious, and then thought of the call from her best friend. There must be a way to deal with Miss Bing Ning. Bing Ning Cosmetics Company, President's Office. Jingle bell bell. Xia Bining was stunned, as if in a dream, feeling the power surging in her body, and her cell phone rang. Hey, Zhao King, what are you talking about? Shi Qing was taken away by the second roommate Li Lingfeng. Quiet Villa. After hanging up the phone, Xia Bining's face darkened. She originally wanted to call Yi Zan, but then she thought that she was now a martial arts master and didn't contact him. Mr. Xia, are you going? Xiao Qian saw her CEO leaving in a hurry, and judging from his expression, something must have happened. I'm going to Qingyu Villa and I'll be back soon. After saying that, Xia Bining went to Biyuan, leaving Xiao Qian dazed in the wind. After a while, Xiao Qian came back to her senses. But she dialed Yi Zan's phone number immediately. After all, she was one of the few people who knew about the relationship between her CEO and Mr. Yi Zan. Half an hour later, we were in a quiet garden. PFF, cough cough. Li Shiqing, who had been injured for a long time, was thrown to the ground with a pale face, and next to her was Li Lingfeng, who had brought a gift to Chen Tianshang. Sir, my father specifically asked me to bring Li Shiqing to you as a gift. At this moment, a middle-aged man was sitting in the main seat of the hall, and the fluctuations around him had the aura of a middle-stage martial arts master. Oh, as soon as he said this, Chen Tianshang narrowed his eyes and glanced over. This is Li Shiqing, who is famous for the Li family in Jinling. She is not bad. I accepted the gift. Haha, Lingfeng wishes you a happy meal. Li Lingfeng bowed, and then Chen Tianshang waved his hand to let him go. It was obvious that all his attention fell on the beautiful Li Shiqing. That's fine. Chen Tianshang looked at the graceful and lovely girl, then enjoy it first, and then go to the Qin family to kill that Qin Tianao. I want to see who is behind this Qin Tianao who dares to touch my son, Chen Tianshang. After a pause, Chen Tianshang's eyes were intense. Come here, take her to my room. Yes, uncle. Two top experts from the Chen family in the imperial capital were about to step forward. Li Shi's face was filled with despair. She could already predict what would happen next. The Chen family of the imperial capital, you will not die well. Li Shiqing's energy and blood rushed to her heart, and she spat out blood, making her whole body even weaker. Get away. At this moment, two crisp sounds of snapping were heard, and then the two top masters of the Chen family in the imperial capital were sent flying out. A strong cold air poured into their bodies, and both of them were seriously injured on the spot. However, he looked at the person with a fearful expression, martial arts grandmaster. A beautiful figure appeared in front of Li Shiqing, and it was Xia Bining who came in a hurry. Bing Ning, you, daughter actually a martial arts master. Li Shiqing was shocked. She had been practicing martial arts since she was a child and had reached the level of a first-class master today. However, her best friend had not been interested in martial arts since she was a child, but now she has become a martial arts master like the old man. Not good. Soon, she thought of something. Bing Ning, leave quickly and leave me alone. They are from the Chen family in the imperial capital, you are no match. However, at this time, Chen Tianshang suddenly noticed Xia Bining. I didn't expect that little Jinling would have such a beauty. God is so kind to me. After a pause, he narrowed his eyes and landed on Xia Bining. No one can leave today. Tisk. Chen Tianshang took action decisively and slapped Li Shiqing with a palm. The terrifying force would have seriously injured an ordinary martial arts master. The speed was so fast that only Xia Bining, who had much fighting experience, could compare. Only, just when Chen Tianshang thought he had succeeded, an extremely powerful aura emerged from Guanyan's tears, and Chen Tianshang was instantly blown away. The sound of cracking bones was silenced by an unknown amount, and this was just for the rest of his body. That's good stuff. Even though Chen Tianxiang was seriously injured, his burning eyes fell on the pendant around Xia Bining's neck. The energy was at least stronger than that of a martial arts grandmaster. If they can get it, their imperial capital, the Chen family, will surely rise as an imperial capital. Uncle, let me try. There was a swish sound, but at this moment a figure appeared in the field. This person was Wang Kui, one of the few martial arts masters of the Chen family in the imperial capital. Uncle Kui, be careful. However, before Wang Kui could take action, an angry voice resounded throughout the quiet garden. Touch my woman, you are seeking death. The next moment, a person suddenly appeared in front of Xia Bingning. It was Yi Zan. Yi Zan, it's actually him. Li Shiqing's face was full of disbelief, because she clearly felt the oppressive feeling coming from Yi Zan's body that made her heart palpitate. The feeling was stronger than that of the martial arts master's grandfather. Shensi, take them away. Yi Zan spoke calmly, without even looking at the dozens of masters from the Chen family of the imperial capital around him. Kill those who block you. Lord Kui, a martial arts master was about to speak out, but Wang Kui raised his hand to stop him. Chen Tianxiang was shocked. That boy actually made Uncle Kui afraid. How is it possible? Quiet villa, the door is closed. Chen Tianxiang coughed violently, stood up and took a deep breath. A martial arts master in his early 20s, Uncle Yuan Kui's solemn presence, could not help but do so. The secrets of this boy are much more important than those two women. With a wave of his hand, a group of masters from the Chen family in the imperial capital surrounded Yi Zan. With such a lineup, even a perfect martial arts master would be hated. Detect the host's monstrous anger and grant the sound isolation technique. Note: this technique can isolate any sound and fluctuation. Soundproofing. Hearing the sound of the system ringing in his ears, Yi Zan felt even more anxious. At a certain moment, following the hand seal, an invisible soundproof shield covered the entire Qingyu villa. Even if there was a nuclear explosion, the outside world would not be able to detect the slightest movement, let alone any action taken here. Kill. Chen Tianxiang didn't hesitate, and he gave the order obviously to make his subordinates become cannon fodder. Dozens of top masters and half-step martial arts masters swarmed up. Obviously they also realized that the man in front of them was extraordinary. Yi Zan narrowed his eyes and exerted slight pressure on his feet. Click. Spider web-like cracks spread from under your feet, and a monstrous energy overflowed. Bang 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 bang. The cannon fodder who surrounded him were all still wet with blood. Chen Tianxiang's face turned pale when he saw it. He stumbled back on his feet, and looked towards the other side as if he had seen a ghost. You. How is that possible? Scared. Chen Tianxiang was really scared. The pressure just now was stronger than his father's. To know, my father is already a half-step martial arts master, which means that this person is a strong martial arts master, but how is that possible? This guy is obviously only in his early 20s. Come together and kill him. Wang Kui looked solemn, and the three martial arts masters beside him took a deep breath and nodded. They knew there was no way out. Tisk. As soon as the voice fell, Wang Kui and three martial arts masters were already coming to kill him, but they quickly ran away as they approached Yi Zan. Uncle Kui, you. Chen Tianxiang was completely stunned. He never expected that Uncle Kui would run away directly, obviously without considering his situation at all. Bang. However, before Wang Kui could leave, he was slapped and flew away, and finally landed at Chen Tianxiang's feet. Blood spurted out and his face was as pale as paper. As for the other three martial arts masters, they were slapped into blood mist with a backhand before they could recover. PFF'd. Cough. Wang Kui looked at Yi Zan across from him in shock, as if looking at a devil. Who are you? You are not an ordinary martial arts master. He didn't care about the serious injury at all, but looked at Yi Zan in shock. Naturally, he had seen a great master of martial arts who didn't have the strength of this guy. Don't worry, you won't die so easily. The god-destroying needle turned into a black light and sank into Wang Kui's heart, and then the bone-eating powder was quenched on it, and a portion of the physical enhancement liquid sank into his body. Buzz. A terrifying vitality immediately led to his promotion in strength to the level of a half-step martial arts grandmaster, and then he reached the realm of martial arts Grand Master in Chen Tianxiang's shocked eyes. What? This? Chen Tianxiang was stunned on the spot, his eyes full of horror. Martial arts Grand Master. Looking at Wang Kui, who is much stronger than his father, this scene is far beyond his understanding. Is that guy crazy? Ah! A shrill scream came from Wang Kui's mouth, and then Chen Tianxiang was horrified to find that Wang Kui, who had already become a martial arts master, had a hole corroded in his heart. The strange thing is that no blood flowed out but turned directly into fly ash. Gouda! Chen Tianxiang's face was full of fear, and his calf muscles twisted. What kind of strength do you have? Chen Tianxiang is not stupid. Even the great masters of martial arts are unable to resist in the hands of this guy. The martial arts is perfect. No, although he has never seen the great perfection of martial arts, he definitely does not have such terrifying strength. Could it be that this person has surpassed the Grand Master of martial arts? Just how is it possible? The great master of martial arts is the absolute top among the 4 major families in the imperial capital. This kid is only in his early 20s, how can he have such great strength? Asshole, I won't let you go even if I'm a ghost. Accompanied by shrill screams, Wang Kui turned into a handful of flying ashes and evaporated. At this moment, the smell of moon blood filled the scene and was nauseating. Chen Tianxiang fell to his knees on the ground. Grown-ups, let me go. I am the uncle of the Chen family in the imperial capital. I have a lot of money. I can even help you control the Chen family in the imperial capital. With a flick of his finger, the energy sank into Chen Tianxiang's body. The next moment, there was a bang like an exploding balloon, and then turned into a mist of blood. In an instant, everyone in the Chen family in Qingyu Gardens' imperial capital was dead. The strange thing was that there was not even a corpse. Kamiji. Looking at the field, Yi Zan spoke out. Owner. With a swish sound, a person appeared in the field. This person was Shen, and now Shen was half a Grand Master. Then, Yi Zan took out a portion of the physical enhancement liquid. Take it, then go to the imperial capital and destroy the Chen family for me. This is Master. When Shen saw the physical enhancement liquid, he was shocked. If he took it again, he might at least become a martial arts master. Go ahead. With a wave of his hand, Yi Zan left the field in a flash, leaving Shen stunned in the field. The Chen family in the imperial capital. Shen murmured and looked towards the direction of the imperial capital. You should not offend the master. Buzz. After taking the physical enhancement liquid, Shen's aura suddenly became stronger in a short time, and finally stopped when he reached the middle stage of the martial arts Grand Master. So strong. Feeling the surging energy in his body, Shen narrowed his eyes. The Chen family, the imperial capital, will be destroyed this time. A quarter of an hour later. Several figures appeared on the scene, and the leader, Yi Xuanruo, would definitely recognize him as Feng Juyu, who had been rescued by Guishu village before. This is such a strong smell of blood. A vice president of the Martial Arts Association looked solemn. President, there are at least dozens of casualties here. But what's strange is that there's never a body. Chen Tianxiang and Chen Tianxiang from the Chen family in the imperial capital may be in danger. Listening to his men's words, Feng Juyu narrowed his eyes. Before he came, he had received news that the Li family in Jinling had undergone a drastic change tonight, and it seemed that the benefactor who saved him was also here. Could it be possible that everything in front of you was done by your benefactor? Thinking of this, Feng Juyu felt more and more likely that it was possible. After all, the strength of his benefactor, Chen Tianxiang, was no better than the martial arts master perfection. Ding dong. But at this moment, Feng Juyu received the message. After reading it, he narrowed his eyes and looked in the direction of Diwan Villa. Oh, the benefactor has returned to the villa. It seems that the Chen family in the imperial capital was almost destroyed by the benefactor. It's just that this method. He is not a half-step martial arts master. It is possible that his benefactor has already entered that realm. Thinking of this, Feng Ju's eyes shone with light and he didn't know what he was thinking. Diwan Villa, in the study. Plop. Li Shiqing knelt on the ground with double joy, and in front of him was Yi Zan who returned to the villa. Master Yi, please save my Li family. Biting her red lips, Li Shiqing knew that before her eyes, Yi Zan could safely escape from the Chen family in the imperial capital, and that he had the ability to save the Li family. From now on, Shi Qing is willing to obey Yi Xiao. Get up. Yi Zan looked at his wife and best friend whom he met for the second time. He should do something both in public and private matters. Next, take out a portion of the physical enhancement solution. Take it. Li Shiqing saw the liquid in the test tube and hesitated for a moment before taking it. After all, there was no need to bother Yi Zan if he had any thoughts about her. The next moment, Yi Zan flipped his right hand and inserted more than a dozen golden needles into the major points all over Li Shiqing's body, and then all the physical enhancement liquid was absorbed at an extremely fast speed. After a while, Li Shiqing's body was surrounded by a faint aura, and then she opened her eyes. This is a semi-martial arts master. No wonder, my best friend has become a martial arts master in such a short time. It turns out that it is all the credit of Yi Zan. Oh no, young Master Yi. In addition, this is 2 doses of medicine, allowing the Li family to have 2 martial arts masters. Gouda. Looking at the 2 portions of physical enhancement liquid, Li Shiqing knelt down on one knee. Young Master Yi is so kind, I will never forget my poetry. Gratitude. Li Shiqing knew that the 2 genetic liquids in her hands were not only opportunities, but also life-saving straw for the Li family. Go ahead. Yi Zan waved his hand. With 2 portions of medicine, it was not difficult for him to control the current Li family. Detect the surrender of the host's wife and best friend, and give 10 billion RMB as a gift. Listening to the system sound ringing in his ears, Yi Zan was already used to it. Jingle bell bell. At this moment, a cell phone rang, and Yi Zan was stunned when he saw the caller ID, because it showed Jinling Martial Arts Association. Hey, benefactor. As soon as I connected the phone, a very familiar voice came from the other side. Yi Zan was stunned for a moment, frowned and said, Are you, President Feng? My benefactor still remembers me. Feng Juyu took a deep breath and continued. Such a benefactor, I wonder if you have time to come to the Jinling Martial Arts Association tomorrow. The Martial Arts Association is planning to form a Chamber of Commerce. Chamber of Commerce. Hearing Feng Juyu's words, Yi Zan's heart moved, and the opportunity to make money came again. Yeah, after thinking for a moment, Yi Zan already made a decision. Okay, I will go tomorrow. Real. Feng Juyu suppressed his excitement. Then I will greet my benefactor at the Martial Arts Association. At the same time, Jinling Li family manor. Deep inside the villa. Buzz, buzz. The 2 auras surged, and in an instant the strong aura lingered, and the aura of the martial arts master filled the air. This is the middle stage of martial arts master. Li Kongrong looked at his hands in disbelief, and next to him was Uncle Ying, the person Li Kongrong trusted most. Uncle Ying also watched Li Shiqing grow up and regarded her as his own. Uncle, that Yi Xuanjun is a god. Uncle Ying felt that he had now become a martial arts master. Until now, he felt like he was dreaming. Shiqing, what do you want to do next? Li Kongrong looked at his daughter who was now a half-step martial arts master. He never thought that Defeng would have a chance to fight back. Kill. Li Shiqing narrowed her eyes and looked at the brightly lit villa. Li Rongan and his son were so insane that they colluded with the Chen family in the imperial capital to kill Grandpa. The crime deserves death. After hearing this, Li Kongrong frowned. But he is your second uncle after all. If outsiders know that we destroyed the second uncle. Uncle, don't stick to trivial matters when it comes to big things. Uncle Ying nodded with satisfaction. I think Miss made the right decision. However, after all, the second wife is related to the uncle and the young lady by blood, so I will take action. Hey, that's fine. Li Kongrong naturally knew that he was indecisive and looked at his daughter in front of him. After this matter, you can take control of the Li family. Compared to me, you are more suitable for managing the Li family. Father, Li Shiqing was stunned when she heard this. She had no idea that her father would let her take charge of the huge Li family. Haha, for the current plan, we must eliminate the threat from the second room first. Uncle Ying narrowed his eyes and looked at the now dilapidated Li family. I'll kill the 2 beasts Li Rongan and his son first. As soon as the voice fell, Uncle Ying disappeared from the spot. Fortunately, Uncle Ying was not there when the Li family was undergoing drastic changes, otherwise Uncle Ying might have encountered something unexpected at this moment. Soon, Uncle Ying led his men to the brightly lit villa. The second wife colluded with outsiders and killed the old man. Then I killed 2 beasts. Kill. Taking the lead, Uncle Ying and his men swarmed forward. Eagle, you are so presumptuous. At this moment, Li Rongan came out of the villa, and next to him was Li Lingfeng. The father and son's eyes flashed sharply, and hundreds of people surrounded Uncle Ying in the crowd. As long as the die-hard loyalist of the eldest brother is eliminated, their second eldest brother will be able to completely control the Jinling Li family. Collude with outsiders to kill your father, you two are worse than animals. Die. With a snort, Uncle Ying didn't have a good temper, so he took action decisively. Bang! Without waiting for Li Rongan to react, he slapped him away with a palm. The strong aura lingered, and with a pop, Li Rongan's expression changed drastically. What? You are actually a martial arts master. Stunned, Li Rongan looked at Uncle Ying in disbelief. Even the second Fang men around him who were about to take action were stunned. Uncle Ying had actually reached the same state as the old man. Phew. The next moment, blood spurted from Li Rongan's neck, and he looked at Uncle Ying in disbelief. Until he died, he could not believe that the big fan dared to kill him. Master Lingfeng, it's your turn. Uncle Ying smiled coldly, and the dagger in his hand, still dripping with Li Rongan's blood, fell to the ground with a clatter. Thump. Li Lingfeng's face turned pale and he fell softly to the ground. You. Uncle Ying, you can't kill me. I am the only male of the younger generation of the Li family, you. With a snort, before Li Lingfeng could finish speaking, Uncle Ying touched his neck. The 2 beasts and their son are dead, you still have to resist. Dang rang. The expressions of all the masters in the second room changed drastically, their weapons fell to the ground, and they knelt on the ground with a plop. We don't dare. Snort. With a cold smile, Uncle Ying's martial arts master's aura was fully activated, intimidating the entire audience. From now on, Miss Shiqing is the new head of the Li family. What? Hearing Uncle Ying's words, everyone in the Li family was stunned. Wasn't Miss Shiqing arrested and taken to Qingyu Villa? Could it be that the miss was saved? At this moment, Li Kongrong came to the scene with a complicated expression, while Li Shiqing's eyes were full of determination. However, when everyone's eyes fell on their own young lady, they couldn't help but be shocked. Miss Shiqing, she is actually a half-step martial arts master. With a bang, all the Li family masters knelt down and worshipped. Seeing this scene, Li Shiqing took a deep breath, clenched her fists and secretly made a decision. Don't worry, Mr. Yi, whoever dares to attack you in the future will be the enemy of Shiqing and the Jinling Li family. Pattering. As the bathroom door opened, Yi Zan came to the room wrapped in a bath towel. Xia Bining's face turned red and she glared at someone, but she was not surprised by this and was obviously used to it. Virtue. Xia Bining rolled her eyes. Since the guy didn't want to listen, she just let him go. She leaned in her man's arms, feeling the strong heartbeat and feeling extremely peaceful. Husband, thank you today. Thinking about the scene where that guy was domineering and protecting his calf today, Xia Bining had never seen him so domineering. Hey, what's this? Holding the beauty in his arms, looking from this angle, one can see most of the beautiful scenery of the 2 bears, and smell the delicious fragrance. Whoever touches my Bing Ning wife, my husband will kill him. Xia Bining's voice was as quiet as a mosquito's, and her face was filled with a happy smile. At this moment, she realized that she actually liked this guy so much. Although he is sometimes naughty and always likes to take advantage of me, I still can't help but like him. The next day, early morning. The golden sun shines on a beautiful face through the window. Looking at the face bathed in the golden sun in his arms, Yi Zan can't help but lower his head and take a sip on his red lips. As if aware of the sneak attack, Xia Bining opened her beautiful eyes and saw a certain guy who had succeeded, and couldn't help but give him a look. You're crazy. After Nawai joked, Xia Bining got to the point. By the way, Bining Cosmetics Company has been merged into Xia Group, and my dad asked me to be the president of Xia Group. Oh, hearing what his beautiful wife said, Yi Zan was stunned. Congratulations to my wife, you've been promoted. HMPH, you're the only one who can't take advantage of me enough. Feeling that a certain guy's big hand was still causing trouble, he rolled his eyes fiercely. It was obvious to him that Yi Zan was either taking advantage or on the way to take advantage. And she naturally knew very well that although the Shaw group was not small, it really couldn't catch this guy's eye. After all, this guy's Dylan group alone is not comparable to the Shaw group. Apart, Maymay ate Papa's love noodle soup, and the two little guys burped. Yizan smiled fondly because he had just put a portion of the body-enhancing liquid into it. Daddy, why do you feel so hot? Tongtong reacted quickly. After all, the two little guys were only over 3 years old, so this was normal. Tongtong, do you want to learn Tai Chi? Dad will teach you. Chandrong rubbed the heads of the two little guys and used his inner strength to dissolve the energy for them. The strength of the two little guys quietly reached the level of second-rate masters. If outsiders knew this, they would definitely be shocked. Can you believe a 3-year-old second-rate master? After breakfast, visit the lawn outside the villa. Yizan and his two little ones were bathing in the golden sunshine and doing Tai Chi in a serious manner. The cute and serious look on his face made Sha Binning's mouth curl up. Wow, little lady is so happy. Yeah, let's not say the fight was pretty good. Yes, young master, I feel very handsome, I like it so much. To be honest, if my future boyfriend is 1/10 as handsome as the young master, I can wake up from my dreams with a smile. Hearing the chirping sound, Sha Bingning rolled her eyes at a certain guy in the field. Although what they said was good, they still felt sour. It's so strange, you wouldn't be jealous. Sha Binning realized something and looked at a certain guy in the field again, her face turned red. What's so good about that guy? Why is he jealous? Humph. Daddy, goodbye Mom. Tongtong waved goodbye to Daddy and Mommy, because her grandparents were coming here to play with them today, and she felt very happy. Goodbye. After waving to the two little guys, the supercar drove towards the Shaw group. GG. The Devil's Son stopped in front of the Shaw group and couldn't help but attract everyone's attention. Good morning, miss. Good morning, uncle. Entering the Shaw group, the employees who came and went bowed respectfully. Sha Binning, who wanted to keep a low profile, blushed. The entire Shaw group knew about their relationship. Ahem, Mr. Shaw. Xiao Qian coughed dryly and looked at Yizan. What about that? The chairman and his wife have told the entire group about Mr. Yi's identity. Sha Binning. Mom and Dad are crazy. After hearing Xiao Qian's words, Sha Binning's mouth twitched, which made her think about how to carry out her work in the future. However, I saw the corner of the guy's mouth curled up and his little hand twisted around his waist. You are still smiling. Soon, I came to the president's office. Mr. Shaw, please chat. Xiao Qian left the room very discerningly, which made Sha Binning realize something, and couldn't help but glare at someone. It's misunderstood, it's all your fault. Thinking of what this guy said last time about being tired from exercising at night, Sha Binning's pretty face couldn't help but turn red. Misunderstand? No, I'm telling the truth. Well. Before Yizan could finish speaking, Sha Binning covered his mouth and gave him a hateful look. You want to die. Keep it warm for an hour. Mr. Yi, walk slowly. Xiao Qian breathed a deep sigh of relief. It took so long to end. Could it be that Mr. Shaw and Mr. Yi were there just now? After closing the door, Sha Binning straightened her slightly disheveled clothes and thought about the scene just now. The guy was actually too brave to discuss business with her here. Unable to help, Sha Binning's beautiful face turned bitter. Sha Binning, was that you just now? You were led astray by your man. Chapter 71. In front of the Jinling Martial Arts Association. GG. The son of the devil stopped, opened the door and got out of the car, and the person who came was Yizan. I came to the Jinling Martial Arts Association, on the one hand, to see the establishment of a chamber of commerce, and on the other hand, to allocate money. Stop. This is the Jinling Martial Arts Association, please don't let anyone else come near. The two men guarding the door of the Jinling Wushu Association had the aura of first-class masters surging around them. It was obvious that the Jinling Wushu Association was very powerful. Yizan turned his right hand and took out the martial arts order. I've met the adults. The two top martial arts masters from the Wushu Association had shocked expressions on their faces. Of course they knew the Wushu Association order, and the person who held this order was like the president of the association. Joke. With the existence of such a martial arts association, their president must treat it seriously, so naturally they dare not slack off at all. Mr. Yi, our president has been waiting for a long time, please come here. Entering the Wushu Association, an elite bowed and apologized, my subordinates just arrived. I hope Mr. Yi won't take offense. No problem. Yi Zan smiled slightly, after all, the purpose of his coming was just to make money. Soon, the two came to the Wushu Association conference hall. President, Mr. Yi is here. The Martial Arts Association elite breathed a deep sigh of relief. He was personally told not to offend by the president. Benefactor, you are here. After Feng Juyu saw Yi Zan, he hurriedly stood up to greet him personally. Seeing such treatment, the whole meeting hall was shocked. Joke, this was the first time they had seen President Feng treat him like this. Moreover, the president calls his benefactor, does that mean he has saved his own president? After getting acquainted, Feng Juyu got to the point. Benefactor, I wonder if you have any suggestions for the Wushu Association to form a chamber of commerce. Such a gesture also attracted everyone's attention. Suggestions are out of the question. Feeling the attention of everyone, Yi Zan took out a card and said with a smile, this is 30 billion, as my support for the establishment of the Chamber of Commerce. PFF, ahem. The senior officials of the Martial Arts Association who had just taken a sip of water spat out a mouthful of tea and almost choked to death. They looked at Yi Zan in disbelief. Did they hear it correctly? 30 billion. Before they could react, Yi Zan continued. In addition, I can let the Jinling Qin family, Li family, Sha family and Dylan group join and become the first batch of members of the Chamber of Commerce. Listening to Yi Zan's eloquent words, everyone took a breath. None of the people here are fools. The Qin family, Li family and other forces in Jinling are now the most prosperous forces in Jinling. Especially the Dylan group, has become the #1 in Jinling's business community. Wrong. Soon, they realized something. Dylan group. Is it possible that this Yi Zan in front of me can let Dylan group join? He is the mysterious boss behind Dylan group. It's scary to think about it. Moreover, knowing that there are 3 other forces including the Qin family, I can't help but think of the drastic changes in the Li family. Who is behind all this? Then, everyone's eyes changed when they looked at Yi Zan. He couldn't be the one who destroyed Chen Tianshong of the Chen family in the imperial capital. My benefactor is generous, why don't you serve as the president of the Chamber of Commerce? After a pause, Feng Juyu looked at the field, what do you think? Agree, I have no opinion. Everyone in the conference hall echoed, joking, how dare they disagree, not to mention that they would go against the president and miss the opportunity to establish a relationship with this big shot. Of course they are not stupid. Isn't this bad? Yi Zan frowned slightly. Originally, he only wanted to make money, but who would have thought that he would be promoted to be the president of the Chamber of Commerce? Benefactor, please don't refuse. Feng Juyu took a deep breath and continued. Besides, the Chamber of Commerce may be able to help you a lot in the future. Yes, Mr. Yi. The top leaders of the Martial Arts Association are all old foxes. They naturally know the principle of leaning against a big tree to enjoy the shade. Although they don't know Yi Zan's background, it is definitely far beyond their imagination. A little. After everyone persuaded him, Yi Zan reluctantly agreed. After all, Jinling was where he cared a lot, and if he could completely control it, he would save a lot of trouble in the future. That's fine. Yi Zan nodded slightly, while Feng Juyu was shocked, and everyone else in the Martial Arts Association had bright eyes. Very good. The joy on Feng Juyu's face was not concealed at all, and he continued, by the way, my benefactor, I wonder what name our Chamber of Commerce should be. Auctions. Yi Zan pondered for a moment and looked into the distance. Let's call it Wanjin Chamber of Commerce. Wanjin Chamber of Commerce. After muttering for a moment, Feng Juyu nodded, this is a good name. From now on, the Jinling Martial Arts Association will be the first member of the Wanjin Chamber of Commerce. Ding. The host consumes 30 billion RMB and gains wealth of 300 billion RMB. The name of the Chamber of Commerce was confirmed, and Yi Zan heard the sound of wealth arriving, which increased his financial strength. Then, bring up the properties panel. Name, Yi Zan. Realm, early stage of King Wu. Age, 23 years old. Appearance, MAX, second only to tomato readers. Abilities, God-level driving skills, God-level cooking skills, God-level massage, God-level treasure appraisal, immersive sound, God-level beast control, permanent experience of Kato fingers, omnipotent music, and master of medical skills. Items. D1 number 1 Villa X1, 30 million extended version Bugatti Veyron Thunder gunship. Wealth, 1.06 trillion RMB. Looking at the attribute panel, Yi Zhan narrowed his eyes, his wealth had exceeded 1 trillion. Everyone please disperse. With Feng Juyu's wave, everyone in the Martial Arts Association dispersed, and soon only Yi Zhan was left in the field. Boom. Without warning, Feng Juyu knelt on the ground on one knee. Benefactor, please save my father's life. Seeing Feng Juyu's posture, Yi Zhan was startled. Your father. Obviously, Feng Juyu's actions made him frown. Feng Juyu took a deep breath and said, my benefactor, I can't hide anything from you. I am a member of the Feng family in the Imperial City. 3 days ago, my father was severely injured by a master from the Zhang family, one of the 4 major families in the Imperial City. His life is still in danger. Listening to Feng Juyu's words, Yi Zhan understood clearly that Feng Juyu's identity was indeed not simple. After all, if he didn't have the background, he would not be a middle-stage martial arts master at his age. Feng Juyu breathed a deep sigh of relief and continued. If the benefactor can save my father, the Feng family is willing to serve the benefactor for the rest of his life. Lead the way. Seeing the anxious Feng Juyu in front of him, Yi Zhan raised his hand slightly, but an irresistible force lifted Feng Juyu up. Such a move made Feng Juyu tremble. His benefactor was so strong. However, Feng Juyu didn't know that his kneeling directly changed the fate of the Feng family in the imperial capital, and that was all a story later. Jinling Martial Arts Association, deep in the courtyard. Squeak. The door opened, Feng Juyu took Yi Zhan to the room, and suddenly saw an old man sitting in a wheelchair, as angry as a thread. The muscles and veins are severed, and the heart is severely damaged. Looking at the old man in front of him, Yi Zhan couldn't help but be shocked. What a cruel method. Master of martial arts. No wonder it can last until now. Sensing the other party's aura, Yi Zhan couldn't help but sigh that Feng Juyu's background was much more powerful than he thought. PFF, cough. But at this moment, Feng Chenkin coughed violently and a mouthful of blood spurted out, and his complexion became even paler. Father, are you okay? Feng Juyu hurriedly stepped forward. The masters of the Feng family were worried and got out of the way. The head of the family was their heart and soul, and if anything happened to him, the Feng family would be finished. Ahem, it's okay. Feng Chenkin's mouth curled up in a pale smile, which made Feng Juyu's eyes turn red. The Zhang family in the imperial capital deserve to die. Who is this? Although Feng Chenkin is dying, his consciousness is still clear. Although Yi Zhan is young, his illness and strength can be seen at a glance, which is enough to show that he is extraordinary. Correct. Father, this is the savior I told you about. Feng Juyu took a deep breath and said excitedly, my benefactor has great medical skills, maybe he can save you. Help me. Feng Chenkin smiled bitterly. I'm afraid it's difficult. I'm afraid I don't have much time left. Old man, you can't die as long as I'm here. Yi Zhan smiled slightly and then said, President Feng, you start first. I am treating your father now. When the voice fell, before Feng Juyu could react, dozens of golden needles suddenly penetrated into various major points around Feng Chenkin's body with such rapidity that even Feng Chenkin was shocked. It gave him a feeling that even in his heyday he might not be able to escape. Hey, this is it. Immediately afterwards, Feng Chenkin discovered that his breathing was much smoother. Could it be that he was really saved? Drink these 2 portions of the medicine. Due to Feng Chenkin's serious injury, Yi Zhan directly gave him 2 doses of physical enhancement liquid. After all, this thing was inexhaustible, so it didn't matter to him. However, Feng Chenkin experienced unprecedented fortune. Boom! In an instant, after taking the medicine, Feng Chenkin felt as if his whole body was about to burst. Then, the superb aura directly flew away the masters of the Feng family and Feng Juyu. Only Yi Zhan did not move at all. After all, he was already in the realm of the king of martial arts, and the mere aura at the moment was not even an itch for him. Early stage of Grand Master. The middle stage of Grand Master. The late stage of Grand Master. After a quarter of an hour, Feng Chenkin's aura increased to the extreme, and then stabilized. At this moment, Feng Chengqin's face was rosy, all his muscles and veins were restored, and all the injuries to his heart were gone. So strong. Feng Juyu swallowed his saliva and looked at his father in disbelief. Father, you actually made a breakthrough. Grand Master of Martial Arts. Later stage. Feng Chengqin stood up, his eyes full of shock, and then fell to his knees on the ground. The ground cracked, and then spread. My lord's kindness, Feng Chengqin will never forget it. Feng Chengqin was extremely shocked. Of course he knew what he had gone through at this moment. Such a great favor was as high as the sky. What? Feng Juyu was dumbfounded, his eyes widened to the extreme. Father, you said, you are a late martial arts master. Hiss. In an instant, Feng Juyu took a breath, and the late master of the Feng family's martial arts almost bit off his tongue. That was the late stage of the martial arts Grand Master. Even the strongest of the 4 major families in the imperial capital could only reach the level of the martial arts Grand Master. It can be said, previously, if the head of the family had the strength of a late martial arts master, even the 4 major families would not dare to do this. Good. Feng Chengqin nodded heavily. He knew very well what this meant to the Feng family. In front of him, Yi Zhan not only saved him, but also saved the lives of hundreds of people in the Feng family in the imperial capital. Kindness without saying thanks. Feng Chengqin's eyes were full of determination. Sir, from now on, old man, my life will be yours. Get up. Yi Zhan raised his hand slightly, but Feng Chengqin was shocked. Sir, haven't you already surpassed the great master of martial arts? Feng Juyu. Surpassing the great master of martial arts, this. Good. Yi Zhan didn't hide anything and nodded slightly, but the Feng family's master's eyes were so frightened that he was stunned. Worry. To surpass the great master of martial arts, isn't that the legendary realm of martial arts? However, the person in front of me is obviously so young, not even 30 years old, right? A strong martial artist under 30 years old. When Feng Juyu saw this, he swallowed his saliva. My benefactor, Chen Tianshang of the Chen family in the imperial capital was really destroyed by you. Feng Chengqin couldn't help but be startled when he heard that, Chen Tianshang of the Chen family in the imperial capital. They offended the adults. Although the Chen family in the imperial capital is not as good as the Feng family, it is still a first-class family in the imperial capital that should not be underestimated. It also has a half-step martial arts master. Father, that's it. Feng Juyu then told the story of Chen Tianshang's rampage against the Li family, but the corners of Feng Chengqin's mouth twitched. As expected of an expert and bold man, if it had been anyone else, he would have died hundreds of times. Sir, what are your plans next? Feng Chengqin pondered for a moment and looked towards the direction of the imperial capital. It was obvious that the Chen family was just a hidden danger. Intend. Yi Zhan thought for a moment and then said, since the old man is stronger than the peak, then he will return to the imperial capital and annex the Chen family's property in the imperial capital. I think the Chen family should be almost wiped out now. Feng Juyu's pupils were shocked when he heard this, and the Feng family master was even more astonished. Destroyed. Feng Chengqin obviously heard something and couldn't believe it. Sir, is it possible that you let people destroy the Chen family in the imperial capital? Yi Zhan nodded slightly, without any fluctuation on his face. After all, this was just a matter of words to him. Only, Feng Chengqin and others are like a turbulent sea. The Chen family in the imperial capital. What kind of existence is that? With a half-step martial arts master sitting in charge, even if the 4 major families in the imperial capital take action, they will have to plan for a long time, and the adults in front of them will be destroyed at any time. Can do this. In other words, you have martial arts masters under your command, and the number and quality of martial arts masters far exceed those of the Chen family in the imperial capital. Otherwise, how can we say that the first-class families in the imperial capital have been destroyed? Certainly, the most important thing is that when the master said this, his mood did not fluctuate at all. He was impressed by this invisible self-confidence. Following such a big shot, the Feng family will surely dominate the world in the future. Imperial capital, Chen family manor. What? Tianshang and the others can't be contacted. The teacup in Chen Dingtian's hand clicked and shattered, and a powerful wave spread. The ground under his feet made a clicking sound, and the crack spread far away. If the outside world saw this scene, they would be shocked, because he was so powerful. In fact, it is far beyond ordinary people's cognition. Late martial arts master. Astonishingly, this is Chen Dingtian's strength. As the head of the Chen family, he is naturally not weak in strength, especially since his second uncle is a half-step martial arts master, which can be said to be quite strong. Otherwise, how could the Chen family gain a foothold in the capital of such a great emperor? Little Jinling, how dare you touch my Chen family? Whoever it is, must die. In fact, Chen Dingtian was angry at this moment. If this news spreads, the Chen family will definitely become the laughingstock of all the major forces, and the Chen family will also lose their face. That kind of result is something they cannot bear no matter what. Bang! At a certain moment, the study was broken into, and a martial arts master from the Chen family looked pale. Master, it's not good. Chen Dingtian, who was already angry, saw his subordinates in such a panic, and his face was full of displeasure. Why are you so panicked? Ahem, there is a powerful enemy coming, suspected to be a great master of martial arts. Thump. As soon as he finished speaking, the martial arts master was killed by a ghostly figure, and then several figures appeared on the scene. The leader was Shenhao. His attack was very fast. After all, he did not dare to delay even the slightest bit of delay under his master's orders. And, if this matter was not related to the master, to be honest, this Chen family would not be qualified to let him take action. Who are you? Chen Dingtian looked at the gloomy expressions of the second gods across from him, and felt bad in his heart, because one of them was much stronger than his second uncle, and two of them were equally as powerful as his second uncle. Few companies in the entire imperial capital can come up with such a lineup. One martial arts grand master, two martial arts masters. Could it be that people from the four major families? This thought came to Chen Dingtian's mind. Only the four major families in the imperial capital could possess such a powerful person. Why would such a being attack the Chen family? This was what puzzled him the most. And, if these people are not the four major families in the imperial capital, then who are they? Kill. He glanced at Chen Dingtian opposite, and at this moment, many experts from the Chen family were rushing in. The weakest ones were all top experts, which showed how strong the Chen family was. However, in front of everyone headed by Shenhao, it was obvious that the Chen family in the imperial capital was completely not enough. A dozen divine guards gathered together and a massacre began in an instant. The energy flew everywhere and blood splattered everywhere. In an instant, Chenjiacheng, the imperial capital, turned into a hell of Shira. The scene was shocking. The rich smell of blood rises into the sky, just like purgatory on earth. How brave! The half-step martial arts master of the Chen family had a cold expression on his face, and suddenly made a sneak attack to seriously injure Shenhao, hoping to use this to fight for a chance of survival. Obviously, at this moment, the strongest man of the Chen family took action. The target is approaching Shenhao, so he naturally knows that as long as he kills the others, he will be defeated. Tisk. However, before the great martial arts master of the Chen family could get close to him, Shenhao flicked his finger, and a burst of energy suddenly penetrated his eyebrows with great speed. It was obvious that he had overestimated his own strength. Puff! The half-step martial arts grand master of the Chen family vomited blood and stopped in place, his pupils widened in disbelief. You are the middle stage martial arts grand master. How is it possible at such a young age? Thump! The half-step martial arts master of the Chen family was turned into a corpse. As for the hundreds of masters of the Chen family, nearly half were killed or injured at this moment. Such a scene immediately stopped the melee in the battlefield. Second uncle. When Chen Dingtian saw the strongest member of the Chen family being killed, his eyes were completely split, and he looked at Shenhao with hatred. I'll kill you. In a flash, Chen Dingtian was about to kill Shenhao, but before he could make any move, he was instantly killed on the spot. Thanks to the boost of physical enhancement fluid, the strength of the 36 divine guards was now far beyond what it had been before. However, how could Chen Dingtian be the opponent of the second god? He was blasted into blood mist as soon as he met him. 10 minutes later, all the masters of the Chen family were wiped out, and the rich smell of blood was nauseating. At this point, the Chen family in the imperial capital was brutally wiped out. As for the reason, it was because they offended someone they shouldn't have offended. Withdraw. Shenhao dodged and disappeared from the scene, and then more than 10 divine guards left. Only the smell of blood in the Chen family manor lingered in the air and did not dissipate for a long time. About a quarter of an hour later, dozens of figures appeared on the scene, the leader of whom was extremely powerful and could reach the level of a great martial arts master. This person was none other than Wan Shaoshan, the vice president of the Imperial Capital Martial Arts Association. He also had the identity of Zhao Yuyun, the member of the destroyed Zhao family in Jinling, master. Vice President Wan. At this time, a martial arts master bowed respectfully and looked at the scene with a solemn expression. No one in the Chen family survived, they were destroyed. After hearing this, Wan Shaoshan narrowed his eyes and ducked to the side of the Chen family's most powerful half-step martial arts master. What a decisive method, the person who takes action may be a martial arts master. What? As soon as this statement came out, the expressions of everyone in the Imperial Capital Martial Arts Association changed drastically. Vice President Wan, are you sure? Can't be wrong. Wan Shaoshan felt the remaining aura and said solemnly, moreover, this person's strength is very likely to be above mine. Above you. Everyone's expressions changed greatly when they heard this. I am afraid that only the 4 major families in the imperial capital could do this, but they had no reason to go to war in such a big way. And the 4 major families in the imperial capital are not fools. To exterminate their families in such an upright manner is to ask for trouble. Block the news and closely monitor the movements of the 4 major families. Wan Shaoshan took a deep breath, and he was only guessing. After all, in addition to the 4 major families in the imperial capital, there were also other great martial arts masters hidden among them. You know, those hidden families are not vegetarians, and the so-called 4 major families in the imperial capital are completely like children playing house in front of those existences. Only, it had better not be their fault, otherwise, the sky in the imperial capital might collapse. This matter needs to be reported immediately, because it is no longer something he can handle. No one knows what the situation in the imperial capital will be next, but it is inevitable for everyone to be in danger. As night falls, Sha Group. GG. Not long after Sha Bining came downstairs, she saw the Devil's Son supercar approaching from far away, and she recognized the car from a distance. Shockingly, it was hard for her to admit her mistake with that one-of-a-kind supercar. Wife Bing Ning, get in the car. After listening to someone's words, Sha Bining's face turned red and her eyes turned pale. Someone got into the car. Is this guy so high profile and afraid that the group is not related to them? Is this guy really so good? So angry. I really want to bite him to death. What should I do? It's too bad for me to come to the company in the future. You can't keep a low profile. When I got into the car, I rolled my eyes at someone, and I felt sweet in my heart when I said this. This was the first time that guy came to take me home, and it felt pretty good. Never mind, seeing as he is so thoughtful, just forgive him this time. Of course, the most important thing is that she is not disgusted. Low-key, why keep a low profile? Yizan carelessly rubbed the beautiful lady's head and said with a slight smile, our Bing Ning wife is so beautiful, what if my husband doesn't pay close attention and runs away with her? Looking at the beauty in front of him jokingly, he carefully tucked her slightly messy hair behind her ears. This careful move made the beautiful beauty's face blush. From Yizan's angle, she looked very good-looking. Sigh, get away you big-headed devil. Sha Bining didn't pay attention to someone's eyes. She glared and Yizan muttered to himself, what did this big soul talk nonsense about? The first sentence was okay, but what about the latter sentence? He really ran away with someone. This guy started to be dishonest in just a few sentences. Correct. After some flirting, Sha Bining thought of business and breathed a sigh of relief to calm down. Husband, I have something to tell you. After thinking about it for a while, Sha Bining hesitated before speaking out about the situation that Sha Group is facing now. After all, this matter is not trivial. Jinpeng Group, malicious competition with the Sha Group, a shortfall of 2 billion. Hearing this, Yizan was stunned. Yizan was stunned. What a guy, there are still people who dare to take advantage of his own woman. Is this because we are living impatiently, but it is not necessarily a good thing. After all, things that can be solved with money are not a problem for him, not to mention that there will be such a good opportunity to make money. Without thinking much, he fiddled with his cell phone and transferred some money to his wife, but it turned out to be an extra zero. Obviously he did this on purpose. He couldn't give his wife a mere 2 billion. Of course, he didn't believe that Jinpeng Group's malicious competition was just this one. Dear CCB users, your account number ending in 3258, 20 billion RMB was received on April 25, 2024, please pay attention to check it. Construction Bank. PFF'd, ahem. Xia Bining, who had just taken a sip of someone's milk tea, was caught off guard by the sudden message. A little milk tea oozed from the corners of her mouth. The sudden message really made her unable to remain calm. She even thought that she had seen it wrong for a while, and she looked at it several times before confirming it. 20 billion. Xia Bining's mouth twitched. She was really shocked. She looked at the man next to her in disbelief. Husband, you are crazy. You know, that's 20 billion, not 200 yuan, it would be too childish. Even if you don't have to do this to pamper yourself, huh? Well, seeing the transfer amount, Yi Zhan pretended to be stunned for a moment and said as steadily as an old dog, I didn't pay attention, so I added an extra zero. It's okay. Keep the money for emergencies first. If it's not enough, tell me later. Yi Zhan smiled slightly and said, if you are richer than the men in your family, then Jinpeng Group is looking for death. Undoubtedly, Yi Zhan looked like the legendary nouveau riche at this moment, but he was just more crazed and crazy than the nouveau riche. Husband, are you sure you want to give me 20 billion? In fact, Xia Bining is a little confused. 20 billion is an astronomical figure to her. However, if she has this money, the threat of Jinpeng Group can be easily solved, and she can even launch an all-round counterattack. Thank you, husband. Xia Bining was so moved that she took a sip of wine on her man's handsome face. Her face turned slightly red and looked very charming, especially under the light. It's just that if this guy pampers himself so much, isn't he afraid of being proud of himself? Although, I love this feeling so much. Yeah. Smelling the fragrance of his beautiful wife that spreads over the tip of his nose, he looked up and down at the beauty's figure. If you really want to thank me, I can give you to my husband to sleep with you tonight. Xia Bining. Yi Zhan, you are shameless. Hearing what a certain guy said, Xia Bining's beautiful eyes widened. How could that fool do this? This guy actually took advantage of the situation, so she wouldn't be fooled. However, his face turned red, and various possible scenes appeared in the second dimension of his mind, and his heart began to beat violently. After a few sentences, he started to become unruly. It's just that his husband has helped me so much, so it should be normal for him to sleep with him, right? But that guy feels so much more powerful than before. What should I do if he's a little scared? Bah. Thinking of this, Xia Bining's face turned red, spreading to the roots behind her ears, and her heartbeat was so fast. Xia Bining, how can you lose without a fight? You should revive your wife. For a moment, the beautiful lady's heart panicked. Nizi, what are you thinking about? Yi Zhan looked at the beautiful woman next to him suspiciously, and happened to see her expression as if she had secretly made some kind of decision. No, it's nothing. Xia Bining felt guilty and her face was flushed, but some pictures appeared in her head. How could she tell the truth to a certain guy? Yeah, Yi Zhan looked at his wife and wondered, it feels weird. What's wrong? Drive well. Xia Bining changed the topic and breathed a sigh of relief. Fortunately, he was not discovered by that guy, otherwise he would be embarrassed. Ding. The host consumes 20 billion RMB and gains wealth of 200 billion RMB. When the beauty was shy, the sound of rebates came to her ears. Sure enough, she made a small sum of money, which made Yi Zhan feel quite good. Jingle bell bell. At this moment, a cell phone ringtone rang. It was Feng Juyu who had just parted ways. Hey, benefactor, oh no, president. When the phone was connected, Feng Juyu's voice came from the other side. I just got news that the Jinpeng Group is planning to target the Xia Group. Behind the Jinpeng Group is the Lu family, the largest family in China overseas shipping. I wonder if they are putting pressure on them. Need not. Yi Zhan nodded and refused with a smile. He was joking. People who are so good at using money-making tools cannot put pressure on them easily. However, find out the reason why they took action. Yes, President. Feng Juyu hung up the phone respectfully and made arrangements immediately. Who? Sha Bining looked at Yizan and asked curiously. Oh, nothing. Something happened to Dylan Group. Yizan said casually, then thought of something joking and looked at the beautiful woman beside him. Bing Ning's wife, do you want to have a spar? Sha Bining. Sigh. What a beautiful thought. She glanced at a certain guy. Of course she knew what that guy meant by a full body massage. She would not be fooled easily. As he spoke, Villa number 1 Diwan was in front of him. Daddy, Mommy. Hearing the sound of the supercar, the two little guys ran out excitedly and looked at the super luxurious villa. Until now, they still haven't come back to their senses. Mwah. Kissing Mommy's face affectionately, Sha Bining's face was slightly dizzy and she felt a little embarrassed. Uncle, hello auntie. Yi's mother was so happy when she heard her daughter-in-law's super sweet voice. Yi's father also enjoyed it a lot. How could he be unhappy when his son had such a beautiful wife? Mom and Dad, you guys talk. I'm preparing dinner. Changrong rubbed the heads of the two little guys, and Yizan laughed. Yes, I can eat rice cooked by Daddy again. Su Muyu and the maids all had smiles on their faces as they listened to the words of the two young ladies. After a while, the alluring aroma filled her nose from the kitchen. Even Su Muyu, who had learned 30% to 40% of cooking skills, couldn't help but sigh that the young master's cooking skills were actually much better than theirs. Mom and Dad, eat it while it's hot. Obviously, this meal was not simple. I gave the old couple a portion of the physical enhancement liquid each, so that they could deal with some minor problems in the future. Of course, the physical enhancement solution also has another effect, it can prolong life to a certain extent. Haha, okay. Naturally, Yi's father and Yi's mother didn't know, so they just used a portion of the physical enhancement liquid. Hiccup. After dinner, the two little guys burped, and Father Yi and Mother Yi also felt very comfortable after eating. Hey, I feel a little hot. At a certain moment, Yi Mu, the liquid medicine worked strangely. The temperature was obviously not that high. Really, I thought it was just me. Father Yi's face turned slightly red at this moment. Yizan smiled and said, you must be a little acclimatized. Mom and Dad, let me give you acupuncture. Acupuncture. After Yi's mother heard this, she looked at her son suspiciously. You can also do acupuncture. I learned a few tricks from a master before. Yizan, who had thought about his words, spoke up. Sha Bining on the side thought of the scene of acupuncture with her last time, and her face turned red. Uncle and aunt, Yizan's acupuncture is very powerful. You kid, are you? Father Yi looked at his son and didn't expect that he could do acupuncture. Here, let me try it first. Obviously, if she wants to be the first to be her son's test subject, Mother Yi will naturally let it go if she doesn't feel good about it. Good. Yizan naturally didn't care about the order, and started acupuncture with dozens of golden needles. Naturally, this acupuncture was to allow the old couple to better absorb the medicinal liquid. Soon, as the medicine was absorbed, Father Yi's spirit became much better. Feeling the refreshing state, Father Yi looked at his son in surprise. You brat, you can do acupuncture. Xiaowen, come and try. I don't feel hot anymore. When Yi's mother heard what Yi's father said, she looked at her son suspiciously. It's true or not, the effect is so good. A quarter of an hour later, Father Yi and Mother Yi both absorbed the liquid and became first-class masters. Of course, the old couple did not know this. In the villa bedroom, husband, thank you. Nestling in the arms of the person she likes, Sha Bingning's beautiful eyes moved with emotion. Silly girl, why are you being polite to me? Yizan lovingly rubbed the beautiful lady's face. What's my husband's belongs to my wife Bingning, isn't it? Sha Binning's face was flushed, and she hugged her man tightly. As for the two bears, they had already changed their shapes. Husband, if you dote on me so much, don't worry about me being proud. Then, be proud. He shaved the beauty Xiaochong's nose and said domineeringly, besides, it's not like your men can't afford to pamper you. The Jinling Martial Arts Association is not far away. Dao Dao figures appeared in the field, and the leader was very strong and had perfect martial arts. His name was Yu Fugi. Sir, the Jinling Martial Arts Association is in front of you. One of his subordinates on this trip spoke respectfully to Yu Fugi. After all, Yu Fugi was not only a perfect master of martial arts, but also a confidant of Vice President Wan. Yeah, Yu Fugi looked at the Martial Arts Association and smiled coldly. Feng Juyu, it's because you are from the Feng family. Feng Juyu must die this time. As Wan Shaoshan's confidant, he naturally knew more. Vice President Wan was worshipped by the Zhang family in the imperial capital, so he was naturally hostile to the Feng family. The purpose of Yu Fugi's coming here is to remove obstacles for the Zhang family. A quarter of an hour later, Feng Juyu left the Wushu Association and drove towards the distance, but came to a less traveled road. Tisk. An attack forced it back, and then dozens of figures appeared on the scene. Feeling the other person's aura, a person from the Imperial Capital Martial Arts Association. You are so brave. Feng Juyu was extremely surprised, considering that he was the Inspector General of the Imperial Capital Martial Arts Association. Haha, Feng Juyu, you're fine. At this moment, a small voice came, and then Yu Fugi appeared. Yu Fugi, Wan Shaoshan's lackey. When Feng Juyu saw the person coming, his heart sank. He had always been at odds with Wan Shaoshan. The reason was that Wan Shaoshan was actually worshipped by the Zhang family in the imperial capital. Snort. Yu Fugi smiled coldly. You have sharp teeth and a sharp mouth, but you don't even know that you are about to die. Sir, let me try him. At this time, the corner of the middle-level martial arts master's mouth curled up, and his figure shot towards Feng Juyu like lightning. The speed is so fast that the attack comes instantly. Snap. Before this intermediate martial arts master could recover, he was slapped by Feng Juyu and flew away, severely injuring him on the spot. PFF'd. Blood sprayed out, and the martial arts master's face was full of astonishment. You, the martial arts master is perfect. Feng Juyu, I didn't expect you to reach this level. Yu Fugi's expression changed drastically. However, even so, he will still die today. Everyone, kill him. With a crash, dozens of at least top masters swarmed forward, including no less than 5 martial arts masters. Such a lineup was unprecedentedly strong. Court death. Feng Juyu looked solemn as he started to kill Yu Fugi. As long as he killed Yu Fugi and others, there was no need to worry. At least he could protect himself. A few minutes later, Feng Juyu spurted a mouthful of blood, and his entire face turned pale. Obviously, how can he have so many enemies and opponents alone? Go to hell. When he was caught, Yu Fugi attacked Feng Juyu at high speed with a machete. All of his men looked overjoyed. Feng Juyu was dead. Yeah, but at this moment, when Yu Fugi's fatal blow was coming, a ghostly figure appeared in front of Feng Juyu, reaching out to grab the incoming scimitar. The person who came was none other than Shenyi. Bang! The terrifying energy spread out, Yu Fugi's expression changed drastically, and everyone around him was in disbelief. What? The eyes fell on the field, and the ground cracked under the load, and then spread. Deacon Yu's killing blow was unexpectedly caught by a man with his bare hands. To know, even a half-step martial arts master would not dare to resist such an attack. This person's strength. So strong. Feng Juyu swallowed his saliva and looked at the man who appeared in front of him. He even felt that this man was more powerful than his father. Click. However, before anyone could react, the scimitar made of black iron in Yu Fugi's hand was broken into pieces and scattered on the ground. PFF'd. Then, Yu Fugi was thrown away by the terrifying energy, blood sprayed from his mouth, his face was as pale as paper, but his eyes looked at the opposite side in disbelief. How is this possible? Who are you? Shock. So shocked. Yu Fugi's eyes were full of horror. You must know that even Vice President Wan cannot have such combat power. Kill, leave no one behind. Shenyi paid no attention to it, but a dull voice echoed in the air. Then, more than 10 figures appeared in the field, but when they noticed the auras of more than 10 people, Yu Fugi and everyone were dumbfounded. Master of martial arts. More than a dozen martial arts masters. Run away. Without even thinking about it, everyone including Yu Fugi wanted to escape. Just kidding, how can we fight like this? It's not on the same level at all. And, the image of Shenyi crushing the black iron scimitar with his bare hands just now still left them with lingering fears. PFF'd. You can't kill me, I am the Inspector General of the Imperial Capital Martial Arts Association. The screams lasted less than a minute, and everyone including the martial arts master Yu Fugi died. Then, dozens of bone bites scattered into the corpse and turned into a bunch of flying ashes. Gouda. Feng Juyu's eyelids twitched wildly when he saw it. He was ruthlessly destroying corpses and eradicating traces, but it couldn't be possible with such super strength. These people were the subordinates of the president's benefactor. Thank you, sir, for coming to the rescue. Feng Juyu took a deep breath and bowed down. Even though he was now a martial arts master, there were still several auras that made him feel stressed. He was probably at least half as strong as a martial arts grand master, or even a martial arts grand master. No problem. God waved his hand, then smiled and said, "We are supposed to protect the Chamber of Commerce, and this is our duty." Guarding the Chamber of Commerce. Feng Juyu was stunned after hearing this, and then said, "Could it be the president's benefactor?" Good. Shen Yi smiled slightly and looked at the strong smell of blood. Withdraw. Then, the figure disappeared in a flash, as if nothing had happened. Hiss. Feng Juyu took a deep breath and looked at the dozens of fly ash scattered by the wind on the ground. Everything seemed like a dream. As for Yu Fugi, he never imagined that he originally came to Jinling to investigate the annihilation of the Zhao family in Jinling and to search for Zhao Yuyan's traces. He never thought that the mission would fall into Feng Juyu's hands before it even started. Sure enough, he is the president's person. After a while, Feng Juyu came back to his senses and looked towards the direction of Diwan Villa. It's unbelievable that the president actually has at least one late-stage martial arts master, and there are no less than dozens of martial arts masters. It really makes people curious, what kind of existence is the president's benefactor? While muttering, Feng Juyu thought of the scene when he saw Yi Zhan for the first time, and was filled with emotion in an instant. The imperial capital, Fengjia Manor. Jingle bell bell. Feng Chenkin, who was taking over the Chen family's property in the imperial capital, received a phone call. Hello, father. After answering the phone, Feng Juyu's voice came from the other side. What did you say? Yu Fugi leads people to surround you. How brave you are. Okay, I get it. After hanging up the phone, Feng Chenkin looked gloomy, and then a murderous light surged around his body. Imperial Capital Martial Arts Association, Wan Shaoshan is so brave. I dare not break up with the Zhang family. You, a mere vice president of the Wushu Association, really think you are nothing. Thinking about what the Zhang family had done, Feng Chenkin was furious. In that case, let's collect some interest first. Narrowing his eyes, the reason why Feng Chenkin has such confidence is because under the mysterious liquid given by the adults, their Feng family still has 2 martial arts grand masters besides him, and there are 5 half-step martial arts grand masters. There are so many, there are no less than 10 martial arts masters. Such a lineup is no weaker than the 4 major families in the imperial capital. Certainly, this is their Feng family's biggest trump card, and he won't expose it easily unless absolutely necessary. Someone's coming. Follow me to the Imperial Capital Martial Arts Association, I want to kill someone. Although you can't expose your trump card, there may be unexpected gains if you expose it a little bit. Half a day later, Imperial Capital Martial Arts Association, in front of the headquarters. Wan Shaoshan, come out and die. The sound of rolling thunder resounded throughout the Imperial Capital Martial Arts Association. Feng Chenkin, who had endured this for many years, wanted to use his sword, but the target was Wan Shaoshan, the vice president of the Martial Arts Association. Then, no less than 1,000 figures appeared on the field, the weakest of which were first-class masters, among whom there were hundreds of top masters, and dozens of martial arts masters. The imperial capital seals the family. It's actually Feng Chenkin, is that old guy crazy? This is the headquarters of the Wushu Association. Everyone looked at Feng Chenkin in disbelief. Obviously, even if the Feng family, as a group of existences second only to the 4 major families, openly attacks the Imperial Capital Martial Arts Association, it is undoubtedly seeking death, at least in their eyes. Seal the universe. Wan Shaoshan's face was gloomy. He never expected that the Feng family would come to the headquarters of the Martial Arts Association, and he never expected that Feng Chenkin would have nothing to do. Wasn't he deposed by the Zhang family's martial arts grand master? I can't help but feel it coming to my heart. Wan Shaoshan, you are so brave. Feng Chenkin smiled coldly and looked at Wan Shaoshan like a dead man. I sent my confidant Yu Fugi to assassinate my son Juyu. Even if you are an enemy of the Imperial Capital Martial Arts Association today, I will kill you here. Wow. As soon as these words came out, the whole place was in an uproar, and everyone looked at Wan Shaoshan in disbelief. Vice President Wan actually sent someone to assassinate the Feng family uncle. Feng Chengqin, don't talk nonsense. Wan Shaoshan's expression was cold. If this matter was confirmed, he would probably be doomed. Today, I will kill Wan Shaoshan. Feng Chengqin narrowed his eyes and looked towards Zhou. Whoever dares to stop me is an enemy of my Feng family. Kill. Behind Feng Chengqin, the 2 half-step Grand Masters and the 5 martial arts masters were in perfect aura, which shocked everyone at the moment. The Feng family actually has so many masters. The expressions of everyone in the Martial Arts Association changed drastically. Such a lineup is probably far superior to the first-class families. Although it is not as good as the 4 major families, it is still very powerful. What did you say? Wang Qianzhu, the president of the Imperial Capital Martial Arts Association, who was about to take action, looked gloomy when he heard the words of a vice president next to him. Yu Fugi really went to Jinling and attacked Feng Juyu. Wan Shaoshan, you are seeking your own destruction. Wang Qianzhu took a deep breath and looked at Feng Chengqin. Feng Chengqin has a long aura, and his strength may have improved a lot. Since Wan Shaoshan wants to become the sword of the Zhang family, let's wait and see what happens. As a master of martial arts, Wang Qianzhu naturally has to take the overall situation into consideration. It would be a good thing for the 4 major families to weaken the Imperial Capital Martial Arts Association. Die. Wan Shaoshan's face was cold, his eyes turned into a stream of light and he rushed towards Feng Chengqin. Killing him must be a great achievement. This is the middle stage of Grand Master. Everyone in the Martial Arts Association noticed that the aura on Wan Shaoshan's body was shaken, and I am afraid that his strength will only grow enough to be able to suppress him. President, this. Next to Wang Qianzhu, a vice president looked solemn. Wan Shaoshan is so hidden, is it possible that the Zhang family still wants to control the Imperial Capital Martial Arts Association? Tisk. Feng Chengqin slashed out the black iron sword in his hand, and the next moment, Wan Shaoshan was slashed and flew out in front of everyone's attention, and blood gushes out from his neck. Ho ho. It's impossible. Covering his neck, Wan Shaoshan stared at Feng Chengqin with his eyes wide open in disbelief, Grand Master of Martial Arts in the late stage. Plop. As soon as he finished speaking, Wan Shaoshan turned into a corpse and fell to the ground with a strong sense of unwillingness, and there was a dead silence in the place. Gouda. The vice president next to Wang Qianzhu couldn't help but swallow his saliva. Feng Chengqin, actually, the late Grand Master. With such strength, I'm afraid the 4 major families wouldn't dare to completely break with it. Hearing this, Wang Qianzhu looked at Feng Chengqin deeply. Of course, he also thought of this. Although the 4 major families are not afraid of the late stage of the Grand Master, they will have to pay an unbearable price if they want to destroy him. Sealing Chengqin, firstly, for revenge, secondly, I'm afraid it will kill the chicken to scare the monkeys. The Feng family has always been at odds with the 4 major families, the Zhang family. Now that Feng Chengqin has become the Grand Master, it is undoubtedly the worst news for the Zhang family. The eyes of everyone in the Martial Arts Association changed when they looked at Feng Chengqin. The rise of the Feng family would be unstoppable. No wonder they recently annexed the Chen family's property in the imperial capital with such high profile. Diwan Villa, in the room. Jingle bell bell. In the midst of boredom, a phone call came in. Hey, Mr. Yi. After answering the phone, Mu Hanzu's voice came from the other side. For some reason, Xia Bining felt a little sour when she heard the sweet voice. Am I jealous of that guy? Kunpeng Financial City opens, will Wanjin Chamber of Commerce auction it? Okay, I get it. After hanging up the phone, Xia Bining frowned, Kunpeng Financial City. After thinking for a moment, Xia Bining looked at her man in disbelief. Husband, you weren't the one who built Kunpeng Financial City, right? In fact, the recent development of Jinling No. 1 land has shocked the entire business community. Of course, Chongpan pinched the beautiful lady's blushing face and said, the land at Jinling No. 1 was all taken by your man. What? Hearing someone's words, Xia Bining's beautiful eyes suddenly paused. You bought the Jinling No. 1 land, this. So you are the one who bought the No. 1 land for 15 billion. At this moment, Xia Bining realized how wasteful this guy was behind her back. How about it? Are you overwhelmed by the arrogance of your man? He joked and looked at the stunned beauty in front of him. To be honest, this feeling is quite good. Bah, dumping you big-headed ghost, are you crazy? He glared at someone fiercely. This guy really can't spend money like this even if he has money. Then Jinling number 1 land must be worth 15 billion. Of course, the beautiful lady didn't know that her man had made 150 billion backhand. If she were to know, I don't know what kind of reaction she would have. 15 billion, not only can you get the number 1 land in Jinling, but you can also make 150 billion in blood. No fool will not take it. Hey, hubby. After a while, Sha Bining sighed. Can you discuss with me how you spend your money in the future? I'll keep doing this. Even a golden mountain will be destroyed by you. Now that they were a couple, this guy's money was not hers. She was really a little distressed when 15 billion was spent all of a sudden. Oh well, Yi Zhan smiled slightly, but naturally he didn't take it to heart. After all, his money would only spend more and more, and he would never be able to spend it all. Jinling, Kunpeng Financial City. GG. The Devil's Son supercar stopped in front of the financial city, and Mu Hanzu had been waiting here for a long time. Master Yi, you are here. Pushing the door open and getting out of the car, he nodded slightly and looked at Feng Juyu. Vice President Feng is here too. Meet the president. Feng Juyu bowed slightly, not daring to be negligent in the slightest. After all, he had seen Yi Zhan's strength with his own eyes, and he was even a master who was at least a late-stage martial arts master. After a while, I came to the box at the auction venue. What? Feng Juyu looked at the extremely precious liquid in his hand, his eyes full of horror. President, you want to auction this kind of thing? Yi Zhan smiled carelessly and said, with this thing, today's 10,000 gold auction will definitely become an instant hit. This. After hearing what his president said, Feng Juyu weighed it for a moment and nodded solemnly. Okay then. If this item is successfully auctioned, Wanjin Chamber of Commerce will definitely become famous in the auction world. Undoubtedly, this is the best publicity. Master Yi, this is. Mu Hanzu swallowed her saliva. She had personally experienced the miraculous effects of the medicinal solution, and something big was going to happen at the auction today. After all, many forces from outside Jinling came to participate, and Feng Juyu quickly went back and forth to arrange the bidding for the medicinal solution. I'm very glad that you can come to participate in the first auction of Wanjin Chamber of Commerce. There are a total of 72 lots prepared today. I hope you can all come back with a full load. As things got better, a vice president of the Jinling Martial Arts Association served as the auctioneer and started the auction. The response was quite good. Until, at some point, President, the auction for the liquid medicine is about to begin. In the box, Feng Juyu looked expectantly at the stage, and the vice president of the Wushu Association who was in charge of the auction at this moment also breathed a sigh of relief. Okay, this next lot is entrusted to my auction house by a big shot. This mysterious liquid has the effect of improving strength. The specific effect varies from person to person. It has a good effect even on martial arts masters. This is the only one available today. Don't miss it. As soon as these words came out, everyone's eyes fell on the auction table. The mysterious liquid had a good effect on martial arts masters. This undoubtedly has a fatal attraction for everyone. After all, it is related to their respective power status and interests. Of course, if you feel it's not worth it after buying it, our auction house will refund the bidding amount unconditionally. After some warm-up, the originally hesitant photographers also became interested. The base price of the auction is 100 million, and each increase in price will be no less than 10 million. The auction begins. With the blow, all forces became active one after another. 100 million, 200 million. Soon, the price exceeded 1 billion. After all, 1 billion is nothing to a martial arts master, not to mention that there are powerful forces behind such existence. 2 billion. At this moment, a voice came from the box not far away. Feng Juyu narrowed his eyes after hearing it. President, the person in the box is Liu Juyang, the eldest son of the Liu family in Zonghai. Zonghai Liu family. Hearing Feng Juyu's words, Yi Zhan looked towards the box. Is there any force behind the Jinpeng group? 3 billion. As the price climbed, Liu Juyang soon lost his patience and finally quoted a sky-high price of tens of billions for the bid. Those who originally wanted to bid gave up after considering it for a moment. After all, it was not cost-effective to offend the first family of Zonghai for a piece of medicine. Is there anything higher than 10 billion? Well, that's it. The auctioneer was very excited. The president of their Chamber of Commerce's medicine actually sold for a sky-high price of tens of billions. Congratulations to Master Lu of Zonghai for bidding on the mysterious medicine. Not long after, Lu Juyang got the mysterious liquid in his hand and his mouth curved. As the first family in Zonghai, tens of billions were a lot, but it was nothing to him. Hiss. As soon as these words came out, everyone in the venue took a breath of cold air and looked at the box where Lu Juyang was sitting with envy. It was indeed the first family of Zonghai. Such a feat was not comparable to that of ordinary powers. Watching Lu Juyang take a picture of the liquid, Yi Zan smiled slightly, and then took out a black card. Han Shui, this card has 30 billion, continue to develop the number 1 land. Ha! Looking at the black card in his hand, Mu Hanzu was stunned. Master Yi, the previous 10 billion funds now have more than 1 billion left. No problem. Before Mu Hanzu could finish speaking, he was interrupted by Yi Zan. Just save it for later use. Feng Juyu. Listening to the words of his own president, he waved his hand and asked for 30 billion. Even the children of the 4 major families in the imperial capital would not dare to do this. The future of Jinling is really exciting. Oh well, Mu Hanzu nodded silently. After all, the development of number 1 land plus the 30 billion here would not be enough. Ding. The host consumes 30 billion RMB and gains wealth of 300 billion RMB. As the auction drew to a close, Yi Zan heard the sound of making 300 billion in blood. If the outside world knew about such a speed of making money, I am afraid that even the richest man in the world would be amazed. If so, Sha Bining sees Yi Zan's 30 billion operation, and wonders if he will fight with him for 300 rounds to rectify his wife's problems. The auction ended and Lu Juyang came out of the box. Boy, stop. Seeing Yi Zan, Lu Juyang's eyes shone brightly, and he came over with 2 of his men. You are Sha Bining's pretty boy. Snapped. Before Lu Juyang could finish speaking, he was slapped away by Mu Hanzu. After all, Lu Juyang was only a first-class master, but now Mu Hanzu was at the peak of a first-class master. Presumptuous. Why are you talking to Mr. Yi? Lu Juyang's face was gloomy, and he looked at Mu Hanzu with sharp eyes. I will make your life worse than death. Tisk. 2 figures attacked Mu Hanzu, but they were slapped by Feng Juyu and flew away. He vomited blood and looked at Feng Juyu in disbelief. Master of martial arts. Asshole. There was a murderous look in Lu Juyang's eyes. Boy, wait for me. Walk. After saying harsh words, Lu Juyang left the auction venue with 2 of his men. He knew that the other party was protected by a strong martial arts master and he would not get any advantage. When Mu Hanzu saw Lu Juyang and others leaving, she breathed a sigh of relief and said solemnly, Master Yi, it's impossible for Lu Juyang to lead only 2 half-step martial arts masters. I'm afraid there will be trouble next. Fine. Yi Zan waved his hands and looked towards the direction where Lu Juyang and the others were leaving. He didn't take it to heart at all. If this dandy from the Lu family dares to come, he will catch up with everyone in the Lu family who came to Jinling Zonghai. Oh, hearing the words of his president, Feng Juyu narrowed his eyes, and then looked in the direction of Zonghai. President, are you planning to attack the Lu family of Zonghai? To know, the president is a transcendent master of martial arts. The Zonghai Lu family may not even be considered an ant in front of him. This time the Lu family may be doomed. Outside the financial city, there is a deserted land. A figure appeared in the field, and this person was Lu Juyang, who had been slapped by Mu Hanzu. What a magical liquid! Lu Juyang narrowed his eyes and felt the energy surging in his body. Astonishingly, he was now a half-step martial arts master. A single amount of medicine made him so. It can be imagined how extraordinary the person who possesses this medicine is. Congratulations, young master, for your great strength. Next to Lu Juyang, a strong late-stage martial arts master congratulated with bright eyes. If he had such a medicine, he might be able to become a half-step martial arts master in one fell swoop. Uncle Quan, after you deal with this kid, come with me to the Sihai Chamber of Commerce. Maybe there will be an unexpected harvest. Thinking of this, the corners of Lu Juyang's mouth curled up. If they could get more medicinal liquid, their Zonghai Lu family would surely soar into the sky. Even the 4 major families in the imperial capital would not be afraid of them. Master, that boy is here. At this time, the half-step martial arts master of the Lu family on the side made a noise. Oh, Lu Juyong looked around after hearing this, and sure enough he saw Yizan and Mu Hanzu walking towards this side. Do it. Lu Juyong smiled coldly. Now that he had not only become a half-step martial arts master, but also gathered all the masters of the Lu family in Jinling, that boy would definitely die. However, if he knew that the mysterious liquid he just took was provided by Yizan, I wonder if he would still have the confidence to do so. Laugh. A sand truck blocked Yizan's path, and then more than 10 figures appeared on the scene. The weakest among them were top masters, and there were 5 or 6 martial arts masters. Such a lineup is comparable to the first-rate forces in the imperial city, and the strength of the Zonghai Lu family is probably equivalent to that of the Chen family in the imperial capital. Boy, Lu Juyong looked at Yizan in front of him and smiled coldly. Weren't you so bold just now? Now that there is no martial arts master, let me see who can save you. Lu Juyong, who was already half a martial arts master, had ridicule on his lips, and he suddenly didn't know who the object of his ridicule was. Master, I'm here to destroy him. The late martial arts master of the Lu family smiled coldly. He was thinking of going to the Wanjin Chamber of Commerce after he was done, but he had no time to waste on such a small character. It's just weird, you shouldn't have offended my young master. A late master of the Lu family, he punched Yizan in the heart with a ruthless method. Lu Juyong looked at Mu Hanzu who had whipped him before. I will let you know later that I am powerful. Snapped. But at this moment, the late master of the Lu family, Future, had no time to scream and was slapped into blood mist by Yizan. What? The sudden scene shocked everyone present as to what they saw. A powerful late-stage martial arts master was actually slapped into a bloody mist by that kid. How can it be? You know, in the later stage of martial arts masters, even the Lu family's half-step martial arts masters can't do this. Is it possible? This guy is a great martial arts master. Lu Juyong's face was filled with shock and he looked at Yizan in disbelief. Such a young martial arts master, this is impossible. Whoosh. At this moment, several figures appeared in the field, led by Shenqi. Master, what should we do with these people? When they came to the field, Shenqi didn't worry about the safety of his master at all. After all, not to mention Lu Juyong and his like, even all the masters in the entire Zonghai combined were no match for his master. Kill him. Yizan glanced at Lu Juyong and his party, turned and left. Withdraw. Seeing that the other party was slacking off, Lu Juyong made a decisive decision. Are you kidding? It wasn't that he wanted to leave, but that he felt the auras of several people around him. None of them were weaker than the half-step martial arts master, plus the scene that just happened. Lu Juyong knew that the person in front of him was not someone he and the Lu family could offend. Although the Liu family among them wanted to hook up with that big shot, which was also the reason why they took action against the Shaw group, now I am afraid that something big will happen to the Shaw family. Puff puff puff. Not long after leaving, Lu Juyong and more than 10 people were all killed, and then all were returned to fly ashes under the operation of the Bone Biter. These people were the Lu family behind the Jinpeng group. Master Yi, walk slowly. After visiting Land No. 1, Yizan drove his supercar to the Shaw family villa because he was going to his father-in-law's family dinner today. Jinling, Shaw family manor. Hello, uncle. Arriving at the villa, all the maids greeted him one after another. Xiaoyi, you're here. Arriving at the villa, Shaw's mother greeted him warmly. Shaw's father looked at his son-in-law with a complicated expression. He naturally understood that it was entirely because of this that the Shaw family could become one of the 3 major families in Jinling. A little gift is not a sign of respect. Yizan handed the brocade box in his hand to Uncle Fu and said with a smile, and Uncle Fu opened it and took a look. Master, this is the liquid medicine. Uncle Fu's heart was shocked. What a guy, there are a lot of physical enhancement liquid in front of him. This gift is extremely precious. Ahem, you kid, you are serious. Shaw's father coughed dryly. Even though it caused quite a stir in his heart, if he used it well, their Shaw family could have more than 10 martial arts masters. Moreover, if he takes another dose, he will most likely become a late martial arts master, or even higher. A little, in the study. Xiaoyi, the Wanjin Chamber of Commerce. Father Shah pondered for a moment and asked, but when he learned about the members of the Wanjin Chamber of Commerce, he couldn't help but be stunned. What? After hearing what his son-in-law said, Father Shah looked at Yizan in disbelief. The Jinling Martial Arts Association has joined the Wanjin Chamber of Commerce, and there are also the Jinling Qin family, the Li family and the Dylan group. It's scary to think about it. Father Shah lost his composure at this moment. So many forces have established the Wanjin Chamber of Commerce, and this guy is still the president. Xiao Zan, does this mean that the entire Jinling is yours now? Gouda swallowed. He was actually shocked by his son-in-law's operation. Uncle, I wonder if the Shah group has offended anyone in Zonghai recently. Zonghai. Hearing this, Shah's father frowned and shook his head. No, Shah group has been developing in Jinling these years. Yeah. After a pause, Yizan continued. Uncle, do you know that behind the Shah group's recent rival Jinpeng group is the Lu family, the first family in Zonghai, and Lu Juyang, the handsome young master of the Lu family, has come to Jinling. Is this happening? Obviously, Shah's father didn't know, but he still frowned. Zonghai Lu family and Shah family have never interacted before. Ding dong. At this moment, Yizan received a message. Master, the Zonghai Lu family is targeting the Shah group, most likely for Miss Bing Ning. It seems that there are other people behind the Zonghai Lu family. Court death. With a click, the phone was smashed into powder by Yizan. The father-in-law on the side was shocked. Good guy, this kid seems to be getting stronger again. I hope everyone will support it and subscribe more.